The first step to getting your buried underground utilities like gas, electric, or internet lines located. Having these lines marked before digging helps keep you, your family, and your neighborhood safe. 811 is fast, free, and it's the law, so don't forget to make the call to 811. Sponsored by North Carolina 811 and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with this station.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm Dr. Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN asks dentists to volunteer to see just one patient per year who might not have access to proper oral health care. Join me in making a difference.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Apply now and save with no application fee through September 3rd. Visit umgc.edu to get started. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Once again, we have a heavy air mass out there. We can see some downpours across our area and the potential for some isolated flooding. So it is a WRAL weather alert day. We'll see highs in the mid-80s. Storms diminish tonight with temperatures in the mid-70s. But tomorrow afternoon, again, some rounds of heavy downpours and the chance of some isolated flooding with a high of 89.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 404 points to 44,862.
Bryce in the pocket, steps up, eludes the rush, throws end zone, caught, Adam Thielen, touchdown!
He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown. Bailey is third of the night.
Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits!
Game over! Series over! Sebastian!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday. It's probably not as good as Tom Dundon's. He's having a really good Wednesday. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. If you are confused by why I would say that about the Carolina Hurricanes owner, well, you should stick around for the Big 3 at 3 starting right now.
Number 1.
Tom Dundon, the owner of the NHL's and our very own Carolina Hurricanes, has agreed to buy the Portland Trailblazers from the estate of Paul Allen for a valuation of just more than $4 billion.
What?
Sources confirmed to ESPN earlier today. That is not what I expected on a Wednesday.
No, this dropped like 12:15 or so today. Like, well, wait a second.
Power move from Tom Dundon.
For sure.
Now, this is going to sound ridiculous, what I say next. I thought Tom Dundon was only worth about $2 billion. This pretty much shows he's more than that. When he went online and searched his own net worth on Google, as I'm sure billionaires do, he saw a number that was in the billions and went, oh, they're not close.
About to up this.
What do they think? He now owns the Portland Trailblazers along with other investors. It's very hard to own a $4 billion entity solo. So there's others like Mark Czar, the co-president of Blue Owl Capital, and Shield Tile, Portland-based founder and CEO of Collective Global. But he will be the main owner. And that is important. You have to declare those sort of things for votes and league decisions. Like there's one main owner, and that's Tom Dundon.
Yeah, there's a lot of private equity involved in this kind of stuff, too. You know, those lines of credit, which are worth billions upon billions of dollars.
Gone are the days like when Dundon originally bought his controlling stake in the Carolina Hurricanes, where you could get a professional sports franchise in one of the main leagues for a mere hundreds of millions of dollars. When you're talking in the $4 billion, it's even though unless you're talking, you know, the names we know, the Gates, the Zuckerbergs, the Buffetts, the whatevers, the Bezoses, not many have $4 billion alone. So they go private equity, they get a group together, but there is a certain percentage that you need to own to be the main character. Tom Dundon will qualify. I know there's a lot of questions. I know there's probably more questions than answers right now. What does this mean for the Canes? What does this mean for the future of a potential Major League Baseball team coming to Raleigh? What does this mean for the Trailblazers? What does this mean for the free agency spending for the Carolina Hurricanes? Like you can get as down in the nitty-gritty as you want. There's a lot of questions. There's going to be more questions than answers at this point. We'll do our best throughout the show to use our ability to connect dots and maybe some common sense to hash some of it out. But we'll see over time, right? We'll see over time. And I'll get out ahead of one of them. I'll get out ahead of just one of the questions.
Okay.
All of the reports I've seen, and Sportico did have it first, but it's been reported in Sports Business Journal. It's been reported in ESPN, obviously. There is no indication at all that the new ownership group wants to or is willing to or even has the ability to leave Portland. So before you get the idea of the Raleigh Trailblazers, it appears as if that is at least not in the immediate cards. Okay,
so you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm telling you,
no,
not in the immediate future would be the way I say that. Obviously, if you get farther, far enough down the calendar, yes, anything is possible. But I would not get your hopes up about it, is what I'm telling you.
By the way, it's going to take a months-long process for this sale to actually be finalized, just to let people know that.
True, although as somebody who I trust on the subject kind of hinted to me, these people are very rich. These people have a lot of lawyers. These people don't let things like this go public until they're pretty darn confident it's going to happen.
Oh, 100% sure.
So there is a process as far as like being, crossed T's, stamped, double stamped, and triple stamped. But I'd be surprised if it doesn't happen at this point now that it's being reported as widely as it is. Again, if you're just tuning in, the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes, Tom Dundon, is acquiring the Portland Trailblazers, adding to his portfolio of sports the empire, which includes pickleball, which includes a 10% stake in Topgolf, which includes the Carolina Hurricanes, and now a majority stake in the Portland Trailblazers. That's number one. Let's get to number two.
Number two.
Today's show of The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan could also be like the business edition of The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, because there's a lot of business news going on, such as the NC State Wolfpack and kind of Carter-Finley Stadium in a lot of ways here is entering into a new business partnership, I think is the way to describe this. NC State Athletics, and I am originally reading this from Corey Smith reporting, Pack Pride. NC State Athletics has announced a partnership with Oak View Group to bring more concerts and events to Carter-Finley Stadium. Chris Brown will be performing in Carter-Finley on October 14th, and the stadium has held concerts for Beyonce, the Rolling Stones, U2, and more earlier in the 2000s. This is, you ready for this? Motivated by money. Huh? Follow the bouncing dollar. Huh? I actually, by the way, smart, right? It's a booking company, event planner. I don't know what to describe. Very, very modern company that kind of throws the events in these giant facilities and arenas and stadiums. And
they're like a booker.
Yeah, they're like a booker, but on some grander stage, right?
Sure.
It is what it is. It's Oakview Group, if you want to look it up. It's the right thing to do, right? An empty stadium it's just dollars and cents going away, right? If you have an event in a stadium as often as possible, that stadium will make you as much money as possible. And right now in college sports, money is important. The only thing that frustrates me when we hear this news is, why didn't you do this the moment this stadium was built?
Yeah, like you said, they've had Beyonce and U2, it's Rolling Stones. They've had some major headliners come through Carter-Finley in the past. Why hasn't it been a consistent thing?
It's very obvious that, we have to pay the players now, so we should run our business more efficiently, and we should look at all of the avenues we have to make money so we can pay players. When I'm going, an extra $20 million would have helped 15 years ago, too, before you were allowed to pay players. It would have helped with facilities, would have helped with recruiting, would have helped with buyouts for coaches you wanted to get gone. Would have helped with everything. Could have increased the stadium's just quality. It never makes sense to me. It's like, now that we can pay players, we got to find every dollar. You should have been doing that all along. Run your business like a business. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
The business edition of The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan continues with Sportico getting a couple more runs here. Sportico, which covers obviously the business of sports, put out their annual list of the valuations for NFL teams, how much each NFL franchise is worth. The Panthers are down 3 spots to the 27th most valuable team in the NFL. 24th last year, obviously they dropped 3 spots. 32 teams in the league, so they're getting near the bottom. Here's the part that's a little, I don't want to say concerning, but it does make me go, The Panthers' value went up only 12%. Now, when you consider that it's a $5+ billion business, 12% is a ton of money. But it went up, and I put in quotes, only 12%, which is the smallest value jump of any team in the league from 2024 to 2025. Matter of fact, nobody else is under 15%, according to Sportico. Now, when David Tepper took over, David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, there was, and is still to this day has been, a little bit of, he's got to figure out the football side, but he's a business genius. There's even concerns that maybe he would run it in a way that would make the most money, but maybe not win the most, because he is such a ruthless business person. He's made his money in hedge funds. Well, his investment is going up at the slowest rate of any franchise in the NFL. And I don't pretend to be a business person, right? I'm not an entrepreneur. I do not play the stock market. I watch Shark Tank occasionally, and that is about all of my business anecdotes and analogies. They come from Shark Tank. So that just gives you my baseline. But I do have a piece of advice for the multi-billionaire David Tepper when it comes to maximizing his investments in the Carolina Panthers. Win. How you like that? Win. If you win, the price goes up. If you win, more people buy jerseys. If you win, ticket price can go up. Merch.
Or you could just actually sell all your tickets.
You could sell all your tickets. You could ask for more money from media rights. You can do whatever you want if you win. When you don't win, people get a little, I don't want to spend as much money on a loser. You may say, loser, that's harsh. Check the record. Win. I mean, that's really the only thing, because It's obviously like the market is not the 27th. There's people coming into the area. There's a lot of things that would indicate maybe it should be going up, but instead it's going down. Bank of America Stadium is hosting more concerts. There's a whole bunch of other things going on, yet they are down 3 spots and growing in value at the slowest rate year over year of any team in the NFL. Well, when, and I think all that changes.
I think also some of the things as well that even temper and these franchises as a whole is that when they finish their practice facility, the upgrades and everything they're doing in their practice facility, that's right next to Bank of America. You can sell the naming rights to that. Mm-hmm. I know Atrium Health was a big thing with the Carolina Panthers. Hey, it's the Atrium Health practice facility, whatever it is. So that way the name and stuff is constantly out there. The logo and stuff's constantly out there. Guess what that does? It raises the value of your franchise.
There's a million ways an NFL team can make money. And by the way, they're all making money. The Sportico article also had what they call it something profits, operating profits.
Yeah.
Which is essentially how much money they brought in minus how much money it costs to run their business. And I mean, we're talking $100 million plus for darn near every team in the NFL this past season. And the Cowboys almost $500 million. Cowboys are operating in a different financial district.
Yeah, they're just print money.
Jerry Jones. Why is he always so mad?
That's a good question.
How can you be that angry? Life is good, Jerry. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Just signed Micah Parsons, and life is good, Jerry. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of NFL valuations going up if you win, Bill Belichick probably should get some cut of how much the Patriots have gone up in the last 30 years in value. But he's not even coaching there anymore. He's coaching here in the Triangle for UNC, and he talked to the media earlier today. We have that audio coming up.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for Raleigh Weight Loss Center. If you've struggled with your weight like I have or bounced from one fad diet to the next, you need to listen to this. I can proudly say I lost nearly 20 pounds in 2 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and that was just the start. The program helps you reset your metabolism naturally. No steroids, no shots, no HGH, no side effects, just your body losing a half pound to a pound per day and doing it in a way where you can maintain that goal weight. It's frustrating when you feel like you're doing the right things with zero results. Trust me, I've been there, but this is the lightest I've been in years. My clothes fit better, I have more energy when I'm active and playing sports, and I'm sleeping better. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. Again, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or again, give them a call, 919-897-7506. 919-897-7506. Start that weight loss journey now. Results may vary.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Genie log, day 15,824. The Powerball jackpot is over $500 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10x10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $500 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
On third down, shovel pass. Hampton here. Look at the room he has to run. Inside the 20, still on his feet. He'll score.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Bill Belichick is the coach of the UNC Tar Heels. I like to imagine somebody that, went into a coma 10 months ago, wakes up. Bill Belichick's coach of the UNC Tar Heels. Oh, not only did I go into a coma, I've seemed to jump into a different universe. I see what's going on here. In this one, has he won 6 national championships? Nope. Still the Super Bowls. He's just the coach of UNC. All right. We'll have to buckle down and get used to this one. Everybody's still getting used to it. But Bill Belichick at the podium, that's the same in a lot of different ways. Earlier today, as part of the preseason for the Tar Heels, their training camp for the football season, Belichick was available to the media, answered some questions such as where the emphasis has been when it comes to install for the Tar Heels thus far through training camp.
You can install a lot of the passing game with no pads on, and guys run around, and honestly there's not a lot of contact, or you can eliminate the contact part and get the timing part of the passing game and the coverages and so forth. The running game's a little different story. So today's our second day in pads, full pads. So we're going to concentrate more on the running game because this is our chance to concentrate on it. It's not just knowing what to do, but it's actually working on the fundamentals of doing it. The double team blocks, the back blocks, the kick out blocks, the backs reading those blocks and so forth. So today the emphasis will be more on that because it's our opportunity to do it. Tomorrow, when we won't be in full pads, there'll be more emphasis on the passing game, third down passing, red area passing, 2-minute drills, things like that. So we try to, a little bit based on what we're wearing, emphasize what's, what we get the most out of.
It doesn't change. It's so funny. It's a work of art. It's a different sleeveless hoodie, but it's the same Bill Belichick. I love when people think that's quirky. When it's like, oh, you know what? If you ask a bad question, he doesn't answer. But if you ask him a question about long snapping technique, he'll give you 6,000 words. I'm like, so you don't know what a filibuster is. When you ask him a question about long snapping and he gives you 6,000 words, then that's his whole 15-minute media availability and he leaves. He just gave us, and we know how much time was in that answer because of, we just played the clip, 55 seconds of it's harder to judge running game until you can hit pads. Passing game, you can do 7-on-7. Now let me do like I used to do in middle school when you needed a 5-page term paper and you just say like, Columbus arrived in a land that was new to him and looked around at all of the new and unique things that he had not seen before. And it's like, you are just saying the same thing over and over again. He's running the clock out on the media availability. Let's see if he did any better with this next question. Where has the team improved the most?
I'd say the biggest improvement has just come as a team, embracing the program that we're installing, which is consistency, dependability, physical and mental toughness, just being productive every day. Everything we do is important, and all the details are important, and so embracing that and embracing the little things and doing the little things right and so forth is it's hard. It's hard, but that's what it takes. And so gradually I think we've done a better job of that. We're making a lot less mistakes than we made earlier, not just because we've done it more, but because I would say we care more about making sure that the little things are done right. So if we can do that, that'll bode well for us in the future. If we don't, eventually those little things will, keep the big things from happening the way we want them to. So we'll see how that comes out, but I think that's a big thing for us.
Goodness. What has the team improved on most?
Being a team.
Hustle, heart, determination, work, focus, effort, buzzwords, synergy, dynamic, unique processing. It's like felt like I was watching a PowerPoint of like a startup business where they're just like, we are a global homegrown network of synergized individuals powered by passion. And it's like, you haven't said a darn thing about what you do yet. There's Billy Belichick. By the way, like that is what you get, right? I'm not expecting anything else. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying if you go to a rock concert, you don't expect polka music. If you go to a Bill Belichick press conference, you don't expect you know what? Let's be open about it. Here's where our position battles stand. And as far as what we improve on most, we have a We have a tight end that really nobody knows about who's stood out. He's going to be a huge part of our offense week 1. Like, you're not going to get that from Bill Belichick. Instead, you're going to get the team improved with team. Thanks, Bill. I do have a conversation or a observation on something that UNC might have to adjust. From the moment Belichick took over, from the moment it was even hinted that he'd be coming to the college ranks, 33rd NFL team. We're going to run it like a pro program. We're going to get you, meaning the players, more prepared for the next level than anything you could possibly believe. And it's been echoed, and it's been repeated, and it's been echoed. And multiple times I've said right here on this show, what does that mean? Well, maybe Tom Brady can help explain it. Tom Brady was with Joel Klatt, Fox, one of their preview conversations, long interview. And he was asked what UNC football players should expect with Bill Belichick being their head coach. Brady would know as well as anybody. And here's Brady's response.
What they're going to get is obviously the most prepared, the most hardworking coach that I'd ever been around. If you go to that school, you will be prepared to play at the next level. He's going to teach you the right fundamentals, the right techniques. He's going to have a high expectation for you, and you're going to develop a lot. That's what I know.
Oh, they're going to get ready for the next level. You're going to develop. I have to admit that if I were on Belichick's inner circle, if I were at his Knights of the Decision-Making round table, if he listened to me for any kind of guidance, I think I would have been wrong about this as well, because with Belichick going to college, how do you not lead every conversation with, I'm going to prepare you for the NFL? I thought that was going to be like mic drop in every recruiting situation, right? He was going to be recruiting against all of these other college coaches, and he was going to say, yeah, those college coaches think they can get you ready. I know I can get you ready for the NFL. And I thought then he would drop the mic, he would walk out, and then he would just sit there and wait by the fax machine for the commitments from 5-stars and transfers to just flow into Chapel Hill. Hasn't worked that way. And you know, as anything in life, if it's not working the way you think it is, you've got to try to find where did we go wrong? What's the issue? Let's try to diagnose this. I don't know if 17 to 20-year-olds are as forward-thinking as we think they should be. If I'm in that situation, I recognize if I take a little NIL money less, right, and I still get NIL money, but I take a little less in exchange for the best possible chance at making it to the NFL and making the bananas money, then okay, that's a trade-off I might be willing to make. At 17 years old, you put $100,000 in front of somebody and a promise of maybe more down in the future if you work hard and listen to your mentor, versus $200,000 somewhere else. You're kind of going, that extra $100 or extra $100,000 is like a G-Wagon. Why don't we go there?
You buy a lot of sneakers with that.
You can do a lot. That's a lot of balling out at the bar on Saturday. Like it's a lot of cash for somebody at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old who the pros still feels so far. It might be more about the money right now. Like it might be more of the what can you do for me right now, rather than the if you show up and you listen and for this amount of years, I can get you ready for the pros. It might be like, yeah, but in the meantime. And then you got to come up with an answer to that. Well, in the meantime, where's the cash? Where's all of this? How can you pay competitively with other schools and everything else? I don't think it's a smart decision-making necessarily by the players. I do think they should be thinking, like, get yours, especially if you're in a situation at home where you need the cash, then, yeah, that's different. Like, if you need to get your family out of a situation, if you need to get yourself out of a situation, you go to wherever the money can get you out of that situation. But if you have the ability to say, all right, I'm not going to make my decision with money as the first, money is the main priority, I can make a decision where setting myself up for a potential career and then the money can follow. I think that's a smart way. I just don't know if there's a ton of 5-star 17-year-olds thinking that way.
Yeah, especially if there's a school like if I'm a defensive lineman and Georgia's calling me and they're going to offer me a lot of money, especially the way Georgia puts out NFL defensive linemen. It's hard to say no.
It's
hard to say no.
I think one of the top ways Texas Tech is recruiting 5 stars like a whirlwind right now, and reportedly they're just flush with cash. They just have money. That's the one that opened my eyes because I'm going like, oh, if you go to Georgia, like you said, or Clemson and you're a defensive lineman and you get paid top dollar, you don't feel like you're sacrificing anything because they also crank out top draft picks at those positions all the time.
Yeah.
Texas Tech doesn't as much.
No.
And the fact that players are still going there over a school like UNC with Belichick, over a school like Georgia or a school like Alabama or Michigan or whoever else is you think the top of the top is, that makes me go, oh yeah. I think money might be way above everything else in the priority order, not just slightly where everybody is leaning. Even if Tom Brady says it, which is crazy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on and we get to the Dean's List, Dennis has something he'd like to pass along.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Law Tigers. I always keep this in mind when the weather is really, really bad. If you are on your motorcycle and you all of a sudden get caught in bad weather because, as we all know, here in the state of North Carolina, storms just unexpectedly hit us, especially in the summertime, make sure you have a contingency plan. Is there a parking deck that's nearby that you can possibly roll into? Is there an underpass that you can just park underneath for a little bit of time, or just have a quick route home? Whatever you need to do, make sure you get into a safe spot right away. You don't want to get stuck out there on the roads and the tires get all slick, and all of a sudden you're losing your edge as you're going around a turn. That's the last thing you want to do. So always have a contingency plan. But even if you have a contingency plan, accidents do happen, and sometimes those accidents aren't your fault. And this is where Law Tigers steps in for you. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact the insurance company. Insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They're riders too. They know what your bike and gear are worth, but also they know what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation with Law Tigers, I've said it before and I'll say it again, case evaluation is always free. And they don't get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, hits the Dean's List. Who gets a little extra praise? Stick around to find out.
Bank of America is a nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Why world-class? Because it has a crisp and superior taste. That's world-class. It has only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. That's very world-class. So, if I'm seen drinking it by association, am I world-class? Oh yeah, Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic Park scratch-off from the North Carolina Education Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $200,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Adventure awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.28. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you. By phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time for one of our favorite segments. We do it every day here, every weekday here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. It's something we call the Dean's List. Let's put class in session. All right, everybody. This is where we give a little extra praise, a few extra accolades to those in the college sports world, directly or indirectly. This will be a fun one. Up and down, lot to get to. Serious and goofy and everything in between. I'll start with this. Max Johnson, UNC quarterback. There is an article right now up on ESPN.com about his battling back from a gruesome injury in the season opener last year for UNC. Andrea Adelson wrote it. I will let Max Johnson's social media post tell you the part that is most deserving of praise. He said, "Thank you to Andrea Adelson for sharing my comeback journey. I am 100% fully cleared and ready for the season." I would have lost a lot of money if you asked me to bet on him being ready this early this season after watching that injury and having him stay in Minnesota for as long as he did to get extra surgeries and the fact that he almost lost his leg and all of these other things. To now end up where he's fully cleared well ahead of week one is unbelievable. I'm sure there are trainers and doctors and everything that deserve praise as well, but Max had to have absolutely crushed the rehab and recovery process. So shout out to him for finding his way back to the fully cleared list. Next up on the Dean's List, how about we go NC State basketball and Will Wade? Their non-conference schedule was released today.
That's right, it was.
Complete and total. Will Wade not messing around. Auburn. That's part of the SEC ACC Challenge. Ole Miss in Greensboro, which is a little bit of a neutral court, but not really thing. It's like by net ranking standards, it's neutral court, but it's in Greensboro, so that's a home game. Kansas at home. And then also even some of their mid-major opponents, like nothing to mess around with, VCU, UNCG, UNC Asheville.
Yeah, Asheville was competing for the conference championship last year.
There are Liberty. I mean, who knows what they are year over year. And then they also go to the Maui Invitational. That is a non-conference schedule that says I'm not afraid of anybody. That is a non-conference schedule that says, we're willing to test ourselves, but also we'll get our 8 guaranteed wins that we need in the non-conference schedule. There's a good little mixture there for NC State. I just like this. I like the non-conference schedule, which is obviously the only part you can pick.
Here's the thing about their non-conference schedule. Only one true road game. That's the game at Auburn, like you said, ACC, SEC Challenge. Everything else is either home or neutral site. And even that game against Ole Miss on December 21st, which is a Sunday, is technically a neutral site. Like you said, It's in Greensboro. It ain't that far down the road.
And I think in the future, I think they agreed to a 2-game series where they're going to play a game like in Mississippi, but not on campus for Ole Miss.
Yeah,
it's like a home and home, but they went with net rank, or I assume for net ranking purposes, they go for the neutral court options.
It's just like when Carolina plays at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. It's the same type thing.
But my point is, one of my pet peeves / things I've focused on past 8 months is I call it weaponizing your schedule, using your schedule to help build your program. If you're, depending on where you are in your build, you might just need wins. You might need premier games. You might need quad ones. You might need pay games. There's a lot of different ways you can weaponize your schedule. You need games that are awesome that recruits can watch. I think State did a good job there. So, little Dean's List action.
And they always have that legacy game at Reynolds, which I think is against Texas Southern.
Texas Southern, December 17th. That's right before the Greensboro game, or 3 or 4 days before the Greensboro game against Ole Miss. Do you have a Dean's List you'd like to throw out there?
I do. I'm just going to put NC State on there. The fact that you are actually trying to bring in other events to Carter-Finley Stadium, I think is a good thing. Especially, I know we're going to talk about Tom Dundon and purchasing the Blazers, but let's keep in mind what Tom Dundon wants to do in the area outside of Lenovo Center, which again is right next to Carter-Finley Stadium. You're looking at restaurants, you're looking at parking and all the other stuff that you can do entertainment-wise. Well, imagine being able to go enjoy some of that stuff before going to a concert at Carter-Finley. Again, it kind of all should feed off of itself. So I think good on NC State for at least trying to bring some of these other acts and stuff at least back to Carter-Finley to help supplement what that area is supposed to be.
Gut reaction. I mean, Chris Brown's already been announced, but
yeah.
It's got to be Beyonce, right?
Bring back Beyonce.
There you go.
You can, you know what? You can rub it in David Tepper's face.
Yeah, actually, it does make sense. It does make sense if huge concerts go to Bank of America to do like a Bank of America night or two right down here, Carter-Finley night or two, and you kind of hit the North Carolina, don't make everybody drive 3 hours, sell out a bunch of huge venues. Makes sense. Next up on the Dean's list, Tusi.
Oh, yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Raleigh-based 25-year-old rapper has on social media declared his interest in playing college football. And I was like, this is interesting. Clicked on the little workout video he sent. He's in the indoor facility for NC State. Looks like he's working out with players. Posts a workout video. I'm not saying he looks like a Division I wide receiver, but he's running routes wearing an NC State helmet. That's, I would say, closer than most rappers get. And I do think if you get, like, he's I think a multi-platinum recording artist. Had a couple songs that have like gotten up on the Billboard charts. Like he's doing it. I actually think this is exactly kind of what you should do if you get money in like your early 20s. Just go like, all right, what's my next dream, right? I got the cash. I can kind of do whatever I want. I want to play college sports. Cool, I'm going all in. Right, if I don't know, if I would have won the lottery at 21, I would have been like, you know what? I'm going for the PGA Tour. I would have just played every day, right? Because your early 20s, you got dreams. Kind of cool for Tusi. More Dean's List. I guess the Kansas Jayhawks. The University of Kansas has received an unprecedented $300 million gift from a single donor, a gentleman named David Booth, believed to be amongst the largest single gifts in the history of college athletics and the largest in school history. That's ridiculous.
Imagine having $300 million that you're like, here you go.
That's outlandish. So here's the way that they're planning on spending it. $75 million towards finishing facilities improvements that they've already started. $225 million they're saying to set up recurring income for the school. Now let's just get crazy here, right? $225 million. If you can withdraw 4%, I think that's like the retirement money, right? Like you plan on 4% per year, like in retirement, and won't run out of money. That's $9 million a year from 225. 4% is about $9 million a year. Do you know what I would be tempted to do if I were Kansas?
What's that?
How much do you think it costs to buy a football national championship NIL-wise? If you go $75 million in NIL for 1 year, is that enough to go get Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, Lagway from Florida, the quarterback? Like, is it enough to just go around and pick, like, $75 million? You can do that 4 times. You can't tell me if you win a national championship like 3 out of 4 years or 4 out of 4 years that you don't make that money back. And then, yeah, facilities. Of course, you're going to be able to make the facilities back. You got a dynasty brewing here. If I got $300 million, I'd be tempted to just go spend $75 million on the roster right now. See what we can't do for the 2026 school year.
Got to go through that whole clearinghouse thing.
Yeah, well, okay, sorry. 3 years of $75 million, then I'll take $75 million to lobby the clearinghouse to let me do whatever I want. There you go.
Exactly. You know what?
Spend it. That's how rich people work, right?
Of course.
I don't know what it's like. There's others, but we're out of time. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I need time to talk about Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I'd know for darn sure what I would do if I got a $300 million check. I'm going to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and the best part about it is every dollar I spend, I'm going to get bang for my buck on a luxury watch. I might walk right up to the pre-owned and vintage Rolex case, the largest selection of pre-owned and vintage Rolexes in the state of North Carolina. Take a GMT, take an Explorer, take a Daytona. Just let me know how it feels. Then I'll walk over to the Omega Boutique, the largest Omega Boutique of its kind, the shop-in-shop. Of course, I'm talking at the Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District. Go to the Omega Boutique, put on a Speedmaster, maybe a gold Speedmaster with a green dial, something, maybe a silver Snoopy. Grab that as well. Go over, grab some Hamiltons to make sure I get the my favorite watches from movies that I've watched recently. You can look that up. Walk over to the Cartier, get a pre-owned Cartier, maybe a tank, something classic, a Blancpain, a dive watch. I'm going to go get a Glashütte Original for the class that comes with that type of epic traditional watchmaking. There's so many options. If any of these are things that you would explore, you should go ahead and check them out. It's all at Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. The Fox and Bailey watch shop all the way to the right when you walk in. If you look towards your left, there's going to be the Blancpain display, the Glashütte Original display, and further left, the Omega Boutique. But let your mind wander. Let your eyes wander. Right? Just look at the cases and follow what interests them. There's something awesome when it comes to luxury and sport watches, timepieces of all kinds, no matter where you're looking inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry in their Village District location. Make sure they know you heard about it from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan, and make sure you're following them on Instagram at Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. That's at Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. Coming up next here on The Drive, Dundan, Tom Dundon, the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. He bought the Portland Trailblazers, and the reports broke earlier today. What does that mean for the Canes? What does that mean for the Blazers? What does that mean for baseball in Raleigh? We'll do our best to get to the bottom of it all coming up.
Hey, girl. Haven't seen you downtown lately. Nope. Sticking to our go-to places. You mean like Sharky's? Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime, and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3. You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection. And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it. Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other? Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Are you in charge of running the building maintenance plays at your workplace? If you're facing roofing issues, you gotta get RoofWorks into the game. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. You can count on us to be your MVP when it comes to taking care of your commercial building roof. We handle leaky roof repair, coatings, total replacements, upfits, and we even do commercial gutters. Let us show you what a valuable addition we are to your building maintenance team. Contact us today online at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Right side, Lillard curls for the ball, comes off a Lopez screen, drops to the baseline, fires over Chandler and got it.
Tough shot at a critical time, Damian Lillard.
This is The Drive. I'm Tim Donnelly. This is 99.9 The Fan. And Tom Dundon is a very rich man. Tom Dundon, the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. Well, he's agreed to buy the Portland Trailblazers from the estate of Paul Allen for a valuation of just more than $4 billion. Sources confirmed to ESPN on Wednesday. Dundan intends to keep the team in Portland, sources told ESPN. Other members of the ownership group include Mark Czar, co-president of Blue Owl Capital and Shield Tile, Portland-based founder and co-CEO of Collective Global. That's the nuts and bolts of it. The less tangible aspects of this are just full of questions. Here's one that popped into our kind of collective conversation earlier today, right? As the news broke, as a sports station will do, we get together, we start bouncing ideas off of each other. Once this goes final, and there could be a month of approvals and dotting I's, crossing T's. Once this goes final, for the first time since Tom Dundon purchased the entirety of the Canes, once he completed owning 100%, the Carolina Hurricanes will not be the crown jewel of his portfolio. They will not be the most expensive. They will not be the top line thing on Tom Dundon's credits and debits sheets. Does this mean the Canes are going to have less supervision? Because there are certain aspects of the Carolina Hurricanes' reputation nationally in the NHL that pretty much just get thrown on Tom Dundon. Right? Every time that a negotiation with a player takes longer than it should, every time that going back to like offer sheet situations and it's always like, well, Tom Dundon has to win every negotiation. Tom Dundon has to feel like he got the better of every single negotiation. Is it a coincidence that this offseason it did kind of feel like they just went, no, let's do something fair and let's get it done early with Logan Stankoven. No, let's do something fair. Let's get it done early with Jackson. We don't have to draw this out with Jackson Blake. We don't have to threaten people with we have this much control or this much. Maybe Tom Dundon was too busy looking at everything he was going to spend on the Blazers. And meanwhile, Eric Tulsky was over here going like, is it cool if we just give 8 years to a guy that was a rookie last year? And Dundon's like, yeah. What's Dame Lillard doing? Yeah, that's fine. What's the arena look like in Portland? Yeah, Stankoven, sure, do whatever you want.
Yeah, can you defer as much money to that as possible so I can...
Yeah, that might have been the only thing he was saying. As long as I still am as liquid as I need to be in about 2 months, then sure, go ahead, give the rookie whatever you want. They might be a little less supervised. There might be a little of attention splitting. I don't know, but it's a possibility. Because he's a Texas guy, right?
Yeah, he's based in Dallas.
And he already had a bunch of other business entities. It's not like the Canes were all he had, right? He's not like what we think of with a Rooney or a Mara in the NFL, where it's like their entire family, everything was these teams, right? He's somebody that always had other stuff, but he made the time to make sure he was involved where he needed to be with the Canes. I still would expect that to be the same. The next question is, does this end the dream? Did it ever become more than a dream? Does this end the hope, the plan, whatever far you think they've gotten, to bring an MLB team to Raleigh? Because the MLB to Raleigh movement, if you will, the thing that it always had that I thought was like, you know what, that might actually work. Right, because who knows what Major League Baseball is looking for? Who knows what they think as far as media markets? Who knows? But the one thing that every time somebody brought up bringing Major League Baseball to Raleigh that made me go, you know what they do have that's a pretty big asset is they had a billionaire that put his support fully behind it. Tom Dundon was willing to say publicly, I want to bring it to Raleigh. And there are a whole bunch of other markets that have, the people and the amount of television sets, and they have the maybe stadium location. Like they have all that, but they don't have the billionaire, and that's really important. So the Raleigh always did. And I don't pretend to know. Like, I don't pocket watch Tom Dundon like that. I don't have the login to his mobile banking. I don't know how much money he has, but I assume if you buy a team at a valuation of $4 billion, it'd be tough to find the cash you need to buy another team worth billions of dollars again and bring them to a new market.
So Mike Sunheim of the Carolina Hurricanes, who's their head of public relations and communications, did put out a statement saying, we can't confirm Tom Dundon is in the process of buying the Portland Trailblazers and is excited about the opportunity. This will not impact the Carolina Hurricanes, and Tom still wants to bring Major League Baseball to North Carolina. But like you said, what's the practicality of that? Yeah. Hey, wanting something to happen and having the actual resource to make it happen are two separate things.
I still think his support and his inclusion in the conversations is a good one. He's a double owner, right? Mm-hmm. He owns in the NHL and he owns in the NBA once this goes through. Having him in the room, whether he can bring $1 billion or not, having him in the room helps the idea. But money makes the world go round, right? Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Shout out to the Woo. It's. I think at least in the immediate future, it becomes more difficult to look at Raleigh as the best option for Major League Baseball to choose. It's still a good option. I will always advocate for it, and I think it would thrive once it gets here. I think it's a market that a baseball team would work. I think it would be awesome for a network like ours. Like I am all in on it, but I also acknowledge that I think this makes it less likely, at least in the immediate future. Because eventually, by the way, Tom Dundon's also not a dummy. He intends on making money on the Portland Trailblazers.
Oh, yeah.
Just like he makes money on the Carolina Hurricanes. Eventually, him owning both will put him in a better financial situation to bring in a team to Raleigh, but that takes time, right? You got to spend money to make money, and he just cut the check.
And here's the thing out in Portland, you're the act. Like, you're the thing. Now, I know not that far away is Eugene, where obviously the University of Oregon is, but you're the team. Obviously, they have a couple soccer teams and things along those lines, but around here with the Carolina Hurricanes, you're talking about baseball, is that one thing that you have to have, I know people want to bring up statistics about the growth population of the Raleigh, Triangle area. They want to bring up the size. Well, guess what? Major League Baseball is moving a team to Las Vegas, the Athletics, where their population is pretty much the exact same as it is in the Triangle area. And they also added a NFL team within recent years. And they also have a hockey team as well. You have to keep in mind where are the corporate dollars coming from. That's something you have to keep in mind. And corporate dollars are already stretched between Carolina State, Duke, the Canes, the Courage, with the Durham Bulls. There's already it's already thin as is.
Yep.
So people want to point out, well, Amazon has a area coming in, Apple and all that stuff. Well, guess what? Amazon and Apple and Google, when's the last time you saw them buy the naming rights to something? When's the last time you saw their logo posted on a stadium? You know what they want you to do? They want you to purchase their product to watch the sports, not buy properties or buy sponsorships on sports teams. That's not what those companies want to do. You have to have the corporate backing in order to make this work, and you need to find another cash cow to go with Tom Dundon, especially after this purchase.
Fine, get Bezos on the line. Let me talk to him.
All right, cool.
I'll convince him.
I'm sure you could.
Bezos.
He's making enough money on Thursday Night Football, I'm sure.
Jeffy B, give me a call, all right? We'll talk. Heaster Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326.
Yes, Jeff, call us.
Listen, it's an exciting time to be at Dundan. I'm not sure there's going to be a ton that you notice changing for his Carolina Hurricanes portion of his portfolio, but it's definitely exciting. Here's the last question here before we move on, and we'll come back to this later in the show. Do we now root for the Blazers to do really well so that he gets more money, so that he can spend more money on the Canes? Like, does it make it more possible for him to kind of flex his financial chops in the NHL if the Trailblazers are rolling in it? Like, did we just become huge Scoot Henderson fans?
I guess.
For the future of being able to afford Sebastian Aho?
Well, I mean, he's going to spend to the cap. He's going to do that.
True.
But
facilities and everything else, team planes and everything. There's a lot of stuff you can spend on outside the coaching salaries. A lot you can spend on front office salaries outside of the cap.
I know he's got a stadium or arena he needs to renovate out there in Portland now too, or just have another one built.
I think he's gonna spend a lot. Just again, I don't pretend to know business. It seems like he's gonna spend a lot in the next 5 years. And then make a bananas amount of money the following 20.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's the way I look at it. And, it's all investments and everything. I don't think he's going to go poor in the next 5 years. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4 is coming up next. While Dundan's financial situation looks up, does the Carolina Panthers look down? Stick around.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From sound station and security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake, just tooling around. All available with installation from sound station and security, with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
Genie log, day 15,824. The Powerball jackpot is over $500 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10 by 10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $500 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I live and work on both coasts, travel the country. Here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and a $6 Bloody Mary on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, get it delivered. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Once again, we have a heavy air mass out there. We can see some downpours across our area and the potential for some isolated flooding. So it is a WRAL weather alert day. We'll see highs in the mid-80s. Storms diminish tonight with temperatures in the mid-70s. But tomorrow afternoon, again, some rounds of heavy downpours and the chance of some isolated flooding with a high of 89.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell up 463 points to 44,922.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The business edition of The Drive, as I'm calling it today.
Yeah, a lot of money floating around.
Money. This is actually, before we get into football at 4, and we're going to talk about the Sportico valuations for NFL franchises and what happened to the Panthers over the last year could surprise you. Before we get there, I do want to point something out real quickly. I acknowledge the numbers we're talking about when it comes to finances and sports, it's monopoly money to us. I want to be clear here that when I say only, I am not acting as if it would be only to me. right? When I go, well, it's only $1 billion, or even when we're talking about like contract negotiations, and it's like, it's only $2 more million per year over the next 8. Like, only is within the relativity of the sports world where cash and contracts and valuations are exploding and have been for a while now. So I want all of you to know, just because we're friends, I understand the value of $1. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here throwing $1 billion here, $1 billion there. Pretty soon we're talking about real money. Like, I know what the value of $1 is. It's just in sports it's different.
It's all relative.
We were looking up earlier just the minimum contracts in different sports, and trust me, the end of the bench guy in your favorite sport is making a boatload of money. It's just different. With that being said, the Panthers have dropped 3 spots, according to Sportico, in the NFL franchise valuations rankings. They are down from 24th most valuable franchise last year to 27th most valuable franchise this year. And if you are looking for a actual value, $5.76 billion is what they value the Carolina Panthers. That is 3 spots down in the rankings, but 12% more than they were a season ago.
Yeah, let's keep in mind the value of the team didn't drop. Like you just said, the value of the team went up 12%.
Here's the kicker, though. And not like here's,
like Matthew Wright.
Adam Vinatieri. Yeah, Matthew Wright. Should have gone with the Panther. The kicker is 12% growth is the smallest amount of growth of any team in the NFL, according to Sportico. Every other team, their valuation grew by at least 15%. The Panthers grew by 12%. Now, this is very much like if you put like your 8 favorite meals in front of you and say which one is your least favorite, right? You don't dislike any of them, but you like one of them least, right? Every team is healthy. Every team is going up by hundreds of thousands, not even hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Every team is going up by a boatload of cash every year in valuation, but the Panthers are going up the least. They're going up the slowest. They're falling down the most slots in the rankings. That has to hurt. Right? I mean, if you're a competitive person, if you're a businessman like David Tepper is, that fancies yourself a business guru, why is your business underperforming against the average? Like, imagine you're picking stocks and you realize, like, I'm up 10%, but like the index funds that just take one of everything are up 30%. You're like, oh, I actually didn't do a good job, did I? Even though I'm making money, I didn't do a great job, did I? That's kind of where the Panthers are. And there's a few things here. One, everything has context, right? And every team is at different places of building arenas, or every team is at different place of the business side of their event. How many guaranteed contracts did they have? Like, it's all a little bit of context, but 27th is 27th. And in sports, there is one way to pretty much guarantee your value can go up. It's not easy. Everybody wants to do it, but it's win. If the Panthers win more, they make the playoffs, heck, they win a Super Bowl, I guarantee you they will not be the 27th highest valued franchise anymore. I guarantee you they will not be the slowest growing money franchise anymore. I don't know if everyone realizes how valuable it is to win for a franchise. It's I don't know if everybody saw this. Jerry Jones on the red carpet for the Netflix documentary coming out on the Cowboys said, "Oh, it's good for business when everybody's talking about the Cowboys. So if it's ever too quiet, I'll ruffle some feathers and say something to get everybody talking about the Cowboys." And everyone's like, "Oh, he's playing 3D chess." Right? He's not actually saying those ridiculous things. He wants everybody talking about no, because the ridiculous things are costing them wins. As if dragging out the Micah Parsons situation is like, look at that, it's so good for business. Everybody's talking about the Cowboys for 2 months while we drag Micah Parsons through the mud. If the Cowboys ever won a Super Bowl again, I mean, we might change who's on the $20 bill to Jerry Jones's face. They make so much money, and they don't win a darn thing. If they ever won, it would go crazy. And I have a way to establish this, or a way to show this, and it goes for the Panthers as well. The year before Steph Curry won his first NBA championship with the Warriors, the Warriors were the 8th highest valued NBA team, right? Because there are certain parts of your franchise that you like, the location, the state you're in for tax purposes. Like, there are certain things that the bigger market you are, the higher value your team is, storied history. Like the Warriors, they weren't one of the better franchises at that time, but they were still the 8th. They were the 8th highest valued NBA franchise right before Steph Curry won his first title. Well, they've won 4 now, right? The 4 made it to a couple others. They are now, according to Forbes, the 2nd highest valued sports franchise in the world, behind only the Dallas Cowboys. From 8th highest NBA franchise to 2nd highest all sports franchise. That means soccer, that means NFL, that means Yankees, that means whatever else you want to put there. According to Forbes, they're number 2. And the thing that's happened in the decade since, they won a bunch. And then they were able to build a new arena because they were winning the house. That's the Splash Brothers built. And they spent a ton of money on roster, right? They were in the luxury tax. They were in all of these things, but they kept winning. And Steph Curry kept making threes. And Klay Thompson kept winning. And Draymond Green kept kicking people in the nether regions. And everything kept happening. And because they were winning, they went up in value bananas, both in raw dollars and in relation to all of their peers in professional sports. Winning fixes everything. Now, if like the Knicks stink, there's a certain floor that they can only fall to because they have a storied history and they're in New York City. But if they win, the sky is the limit. The Panthers, right now they are the 27th most valuable NFL team. 27th. They win a bunch. I don't know if the sky's the limit, but they can definitely climb their way well out of the 20s. You got to win. Or you got to do like the you hate this, like the Pittsburgh Pirates thing or something where you cut spending entirely and you just worry about the bottom dollar and you take revenue share and you don't operate as a sports franchise anymore. You just operate as a cash printer for your ownership. But by all accounts, David Tepper isn't interested in doing that. He wants to. He's a competitive dude, right? It appears as if he wants to win. He hasn't gone about it all the right ways yet. But until he does, that valuation I don't think is going to grow as fast as everybody else's. Winning matters. But it is crazy, right? I just want to make one more point here.
Sure.
And it's a little off, so we can come back to if I'm taking you off track. Dundan just bought the Trailblazers for $4 billion valuation. The cheapest, the bargain basement, lowest dollar NFL franchise, $5.5 billion.
Cincinnati Bengals.
$5.5 billion. And they are run like a dumpster fire.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the fact that they got Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. So they got some good things happening there, kind of by happenstance. But $5.5 billion to solve all those problems, that's outlandish.
And you mentioned the comparison with Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, but that's part of it. Not only are you winning, but you have a face of the face of the league, face of like an entire sport type player in Steph Curry, which obviously makes you so much more marketable because you're selling merch and doing all those kinds of things as well. That kind of stuff moves the needle. The last time the Panthers really had that type of player was Cam Newton.
Yes.
That's the last time they really had that player. And that's something that this Carolina Panthers team lacks right now, because you look at Kansas City, you see Mahomes, you can look at all these other teams, you can point to at least one or two players and say, oh yeah, that's one of the biggest stars of the league. The Panthers can't do that right now.
It is a chicken or the egg thing, because I think if you go to like 2 or 3 conference championship games, we'll turn somebody into a star.
Potentially.
Like it's very rare you have a team that's one of the 5 or 6 best teams in the league over a 5-year period, and they're like the no-name defense. Like we'll turn somebody into a star if you win. Or the reverse is true. You get the star, and then because they're a star and they're that good, you win. Right? It's chicken or the egg. Which one happens? Is it Bryce? I'm not super confident about it, but I hope, right? Hope's a strategy. It's not really. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the ladder challenge coming up. I'll have my words with Paul Skeens. But first, Dennis Cox has something for you.
Hey, folks. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Centers. Folks, are you struggling with your weight? Because I know that I have definitely struggled with weight over the last several years. Or maybe you've bounced from one fad diet to the next. You definitely need to listen to this. I know a lot of people that are in my age, late 30s, in that age range, might look at the body that they had 20 years ago and realize, I don't quite look the same and I don't quite feel the same. I wish I could get back to that or as close to that as possible. And it's a struggle. Your body just doesn't react like it did 20 years ago. No, for me, it doesn't react like when I was playing lacrosse in college. But thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I could proudly say I'm down 23 pounds, and that's in 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and that honestly is just the start. The program helps you reset your metabolism naturally. No steroids, no shots, no HGH, just your body losing a half pound to a pound per day and doing it in a way that you can maintain that goal weight. I know how frustrating it is when you feel like you're doing all the right things with zero results. Trust me, like I said, I've been there before, but this is literally the lightest I've been in nearly 10 years. My clothes fit better. I have more energy. I'm sleeping a whole lot better. Even some of my other health metrics are just doing a lot better thanks to just the weight that I've lost. If you want to get started, make sure you give Raleigh Weight Loss Center a call at 919-897-7506 or visit them online, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Again, the phone number, 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. I'll give you the phone number one more time, 919-897-7506. Get that first step started onto that weight loss journey with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the ladder challenge. We have a blind ranking. We have a lot coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Get ready.
Concepcion touchdown, 13 yards. NC State leads North Carolina with 8:01 to play.
College football kicks off August 23rd.
Jones a first down and more. 10-5. They've tied the game.
Bully ball by the Duke offense.
Down the far sideline. Caught at the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. All right. Sometimes you just got to put your hand up and say, credit where credit is due. Yesterday for my ladder challenge pick, I took one of the best young pitchers in baseball, Paul Skeens, going up against what I knew was a very good team in the Brewers. I called it a unstoppable force against an immovable object. I'm going to wait for an intro. I'm getting something off my chest.
No, that's
Dennis.
okay. You got to wait.
I called it an unstoppable force against an immovable object, but I teased the strikeouts down so far. I thought Skeens will show up. He'll bright lights it. He wants the ball. He wants to be on the hill. He wants to be on the bump when he's going up against a team looking for their 11th straight win in the Brewers. He got run. He got run in a bet. He got 4 strikeouts, and the Brewers won their 11th straight game by a score of 14-0. It's not great when you bet on anybody on the team that's on the nothing side of 14-0. The Brewers, Christian Yelich, that squad they are a wagon right now.
Best record in baseball.
Best record in baseball, and like their run differential is something crazy. They're good. I'm just going to let that one rock. Hand up. I misplayed the ball. Sun was in my eyes. Shouldn't have ate that popcorn before the game. Drop's not my fault. How'd it go for you, Dennis?
It went well, actually. I had Carlos Rodon to give up at least one earned run. Carlos Rodon, pitcher for the Yankees, to give up at least one earned run against the Minnesota Twins, and he gave up exactly one run, and it just happened to come in the top of the first inning. I wasn't even through.
I'm so happy for you.
I wasn't even through an inning of baseball, and I said winner. So I'm up to $19.20 now.
The Brewers beat the Pirates with Paul Skeens on the mound 14-0. All right, you got the lead. You get to go ahead and go first.
So I was thinking about doing something involving actually your Mets, actually, as a way to go here.
With Pete Alonso, the new all-time leading home run hitter in Mets history, passing the great Darryl Strawberry.
That's right. Well, David Peterson's on the mound. They actually take on the Braves today. David Peterson pitching. I need 3+ strikeouts from him. That was a minus 750 bet. So my $19.20 will turn into $21.76.
You're going to try to use my own Mets against me?
Yeah, I am, actually. It's emotional for you now.
The good news is, this isn't really good news, but it allowed me to, I've learned something here. I'm not good at betting on sports I don't watch every day. Baseball, there's too many games. I can't watch it every day. But I do like, I have, if you go back and look at my ladder challenge history and right, all the sports books keep your history, I'm significantly better at betting football and basketball than I am at any other sports. And hockey to a lesser extent. Mostly I stayed away from that because Dennis had all those shots on goal, overs and unders, and I just kind of left that be his real estate. I'm out of I'm not in the office for tomorrow and Friday. Dennis, you're filling in for me, correct?
That I am.
All right, so Dennis will be here. So I've used that to use my ladder challenge pick over the weekend, and I'm staying close to home. I'm going to the NFL. I'm taking the Panthers over 9.5 points. They need to score at least 10 in their preseason game. It's minus 650 against Houston. I think Canales won't let them have 2 super low-scoring preseason games in a row. He knows that for a confidence sake and for everybody to chill, they need to score some points. So I think he'll break out some deeper play calls if he needs to. I think he kept it pretty simple in the first game, and I think he will dig deeper into his bag of tricks if he has to in order to make sure they get 2-3 touchdowns. So obviously 2-3 touchdowns. That's more than 9.5 points. It'll turn my $10 back to $11.53 as I start over because the Brewers beat the Pirates 14-0. Paul Skeens had 4 strikeouts. Even with a 14-0 loss, I was 1 strikeout away from escaping with my tail between my legs. Instead, starting back over. Let's go Panthers. Give me a touchdown and a field goal, at least. That's a ladder challenge. I need something to boost my spirits. How about we play a game of blind rankings, shall we?
All right, Tim. For this blind ranking, by the way, for folks, this is how a blind ranking works. I'm going to give 5 names to Tim.
What's the category for today?
Today's category is ACC football head coaches.
Okay.
So 1 through 5, Tim has to blindly rank them. Tim actually doesn't know the coaches I'm going to give him. So he has to rank them based off, just simple reaction live of what he thinks they are, 1 through 5. And once that number is chosen, it cannot be used again. That's how a blind ranking works. All right, Tim, let's go and start things off here with Brent Key, Georgia Tech.
I like Key. I like Key for this reason. I love offensive line coaches, and it's so rare that an offensive line coach works his way up to being a head coach. Usually there's a vibe. They're like it's almost a stereotype of an offensive line coach, and they're just offensive line coaches. He's become the head coach, and you can tell when you watch Georgia Tech, you're like, I bet they're coached by an offensive line coach. It just works. I think it gives Georgia Tech an identity. I think they're a school that weirdly needs something to like hang their hat on. They used to have the triple option under Paul Johnson. Now it's.
I'm sorry, he called it the spread. Yeah, I know.
Sure. I watched it. I know what it
we all
if
know
it
what
walks
it is.
like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's the triple option. You watch it now, like toughness is the thing they hang their hat on. They have an identity. So I like Brent Key. I'll go 3 with Brent Key because there's a couple heavy hitters that I expect there, but he's a good coach. I like Brent Key.
All right, let's go next one. Jeff Brom, Louisville.
I like Jeff Brom a lot. Jeff Brom
gets the most out of his
quarterback guru. That's exactly what I was going to go with. I would like to see him bring in a high school recruit and develop him and get more than like 1 year. But I'm worried, not worried, but I suspect he might just do the transfer portal 1 year starter, hired mercenary thing. It worked for Tyler Shuck. They have Miller Moss there now. I may have boxed myself in a bit. I think he's better than Brent Key, so I have to go 2.
Okay.
I'll go Jeff Brom number 2.
All right, so you have Brent Key, Georgia Tech number 3. You have Jeff Brom, Louisville number 2. The next one here, Manny Diaz, Duke.
I've boxed myself in yet again. Well, here's the thing. I'm putting Manny 4. And this is, if it were just, like, we're judging him as a head coach, right? So him as the head coach. He is an unreal defensive coordinator. But to this point, like, he still has more head coaching years at Miami than he does at Duke. And that didn't go well. So as impressive as his first year at Duke was, and I'm, like, if this were just at their current spots, then Manny, I think, would be higher, and I probably would be forced to put him in the 1 slot. But because he had to learn the lessons the hard way at Miami, I'm putting him at 4 as a total resume thing. But I do love what he did year 1 at Duke, and I'm excited to see what they do this year.
All right, so you have Brent Key at 3. You have, from Georgia Tech, you have Jeff Brom from Louisville at 2. You have Manny Diaz from Duke at number 4. Next one up here is Dave Doran, NC State. The only slots that you have available are 1 and 5.
Do you know what I'm learning?
What's that?
I'm horrendous at blind rankings.
Are you?
I always leave 1 and 5. I always leave 1 and 5, and for whatever reason, that just sets you up to have a bad finish. I really like Dave Doran. There is a part of me that is kind of demanding of, I can't have a number 1 coach that has not had a 10-win season at his current school, and he's been there for over a decade. Even though I like, and their identity is kind of like, we don't need the 5 stars, we find the 3 stars, and we develop them better than the other teams that get the 4 and 5 stars. Like, it's a cool blue collar. I like it. I'm a big fan, but I'm hoping my number 1 ranked coach will have at least like an ACC championship or a 10-win season somewhere. So I've done this horribly, but Dave Doran ends up 5.
All right, so Brent Key at number 3 from Georgia Tech. Jeff Brom, number 2 from Louisville. Manny Diaz, number 4 at Duke. Dave Doran, number 5, NC State, which leaves number 1 slot open for Rhett Lashley, SMU.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse. I don't think Rhett Lashley is worthy of number one there. I was obviously very mean to the local coaches, but Lashley's got some offensive chops, right? He's a play caller. He's a very modern coach. And in his first year in the ACC, they made it to the CFP. So there you go. Kevin Jennings is going to be good. I'm a big fan of Brashard Smith, who Rhett Lashley had the foresight to look at the Miami depth chart and say, hey, that wide receiver in the transfer portal, he could come be a running back that'll turn into a draft pick. So I like Lashley. Your microphone's not on.
I would say he was the offensive coordinator at Miami for a couple of seasons in 2020 and 2021, which I think Brashard Smith may have started out there.
Yeah, been there.
So he probably had a little familiarity with him, but he's first-time head coach is SMU, so he's been there for 22, 23, 24. So just 3 seasons, like you said, already making a CFP appearance.
When I backed myself into only having the number 1 slot available, and it was like Dabo was still out there, which obviously would have been a fine one. Like there were a few good. Belichick would have made sense up there just off of his head coaching resume. But you get nervous. It could have been a lot worse than Rhett Lashley. I feel like I escaped a little bit with Lashley number 1 when it could have been. There could have been some others that I'm not as big of fans of.
And that was intentional in not including Belichick because he just hasn't coached college yet. That's one of the reasons why I did not include Belichick as part of this blind ranking.
In my mind, I would have included his entire head coaching resume.
Sure.
Whenever he popped up, I would have put him 1 if it was open, which apparently I always leave open for the last one. I'm gonna watch the film. I'm gonna get better at this. Do you want a tip on how to do a blind ranking? Sure.
Never choose number 3 as your first option
because it just sets the focal point.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know where I would like. Okay, let's talk strategy here.
Okay.
Brent Key, 1. I like him, but he feels way overvalued if he's over like 6 coaches in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
So do you go 4?
Yeah.
If you go 4 there, he's gonna be below somebody he's better than.
That's all part of the blind ranking, Tim. You just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, basically the way I do it is I try to guess where I would put him. Like, what are there, 17 coaches in the ACC?
Mm-hmm.
I have Brent Key in, like, the middle section. So I put him in the middle, figuring there's a 50% chance that somebody would be better, somebody would be worse, because he's in the middle of kind of the ACC. Like, it wasn't completely random when I threw him in there. It always ends up where I have number 1 and number 5 left, and it's bad from there. You know what I should have done? I should have just thrown Braun below Key. I wouldn't. It's close enough that it would have been okay, and it would have given me more room, upward mobility. There's my mistake. And I should probably, anyway. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. One of these days, I want to do a massive one. I want to do like a 20-slot blind ranking.
Oh, gosh, that'd be insane.
Maybe we'll do it for YouTube only. We'll pick a category and do 25 slots, like best former ACC football player, and you just have a list of 25 names. Could be as random as you want. See how good we get. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Maybe we'll do 100 names, 200 names, 1,000 names. It'll take us hours. Where do you put?
I don't know. I think he's a 947.
Gio Bernard, first pick, ACC all times out of 1,000. Where are you putting? There's a lot of names that could go in there. That'd be funny. Chaz Surratt. Where are you putting him?
Oh, gosh.
I don't know why I'm picking UNC. Where are you going to put Dion Lewis? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's a blind ranking here. Let me get I got to get situated. Oh, it's time for Hit It and Quit It. Let's go ahead and do that.
I want you to
Hit it and quit it. Line up the biggest stories in sports. Hit it, quit it, move on to the next. I'll get us started. Will Wade, head coach, NC State. He's playing the game. Will Wade goes all in. First of all, love the non-conference schedule. We already talked about it during Dean's List, but NC State announced their entire non-conference schedule. I think they did a really good job. They covered all the things they need to do. Premier games, and enough mid-major games to build up your wins for a new group. There's a blue blood coming to the Lenovo Center. Great job. The other thing I thought was interesting about Wade's doing like mini podcasts with his players where he's the interviewer. Will Wade is interviewing the incoming transfers, sitting in Pullen Park, just sitting there on some chairs talking to the players. And I think it's a smart move because right now Will Wade, to quote Zoolander, he's so hot right now. The college sports world likes talking about him. So you put Will Wade in a video, there's going to be a certain amount of exposure. You put Will Wade in a video next to one of your players and have Will Wade driving the conversation to the things he wants to highlight. Now you have a lot of eyeballs. You have a brand being built for the player. You have a win-win where the player now has his fame score going up. Will Wade is highlighting the parts of his program he wants highlighted. And all they had to do was sit in a park and talk for 7 minutes. It's Kadir Copeland, the most recent episode. There's a lot of good going on there. And Rob Doster, field of 68. Matter of fact, the entire field of 68. I mean, they're picking up what Will Wade's putting down. They're smelling what he's stepping in. They like what Will Wade has going on. Here's Doster with a little bit of praise.
With a couple years, we're going to be talking about NC State the same way we're talking about St. John's under Rick Pitino. I really do believe that. I think that's what's coming in the next 2 to 3 years for NC State. This year alone, I think it's more like borderline top 25-ish. You get to the tournament, you win a game, you're probably happy with that season. I mean, 7 seed that wins a game in a tournament, I think that's a great season for NC State this year.
How do we talk about Rick Pitino and St. John's? He's obviously very good in the transfer portal.
I mean, yeah, very good in the transfer portal. They're, a 2 seed this past year, a 3 seed?
But there is definitely part of the conversation where it feels like St. John sold their soul a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, which part of it are we talking about when it comes to we're going to be talking about NC State and Will Wade like we talk about Rick Pitino and St. John? That's my only question. That's my only. Let's quit that. Let's hit this before I get myself in trouble.
It means more.
Let's actually switch things over to UNC basketball. Kyan Evans, their transfer from Colorado State, UNC basketball, the point guard who shot, 44% this past season at Colorado State from behind the three-point line, I should say. Tim, I know you saw this quote earlier. He's getting a lot of praise right now, Kyan Evans is. And this is actually interesting following along the heels of Hubert Davis praising some of his incoming freshmen, saying we should expect some of these guys' names up there in the rafters. But Kyan Evans, the transfer from Colorado State, getting some pretty high praise himself.
So Earl Watson, who NBA diehards will remember, he's a good guy's name in dudes, right? He's a longtime NBA guard, Earl Watson. He's been a head coach in the college level and currently, I believe he's in the Kansas City area as a personal basketball trainer, coach, development guy, right? NBA history, college coaching, makes sense. He worked with Kyan Evans this offseason as a trainer, right? A skills developer. I have a quote here from Earl Watson. Sets the bar pretty high for old Kyan Evans. Here's what Watson said, word for word. This was from an Inside Carolina article. Hat tip to them. In getting to know Kyan, I can confidently say he's one of the best shooters in the world. And I'm not just talking about college basketball. His analytics provide a strong narrative for that statement. It's not just me being in the moment. Every player's dream is 50, 40, 90, and he's only a couple points from that. He could get there this season. And like I said, I've been around the best, like Dame Lillard, Ray Allen, and Darren Williams back in the day.
By the way, 50, 40, 90 means 50% inside the arc, so from 2-point range.
50% field goal percentage overall.
Yeah, field goal percentage, mostly coming from inside the arc, but 50% overall shooting, 40% from behind three, 90% from the free throw line. That's what 50, 40, 90 means.
Last season at Colorado State, Evans was 47.1% overall field goal, 44.6% three-point field goal, and 85.2% free throw percentage. I have to admit, if he is one of the best shooters in the world, I'm going to raise the ceiling of UNC. If Kyan Evans, the incoming transfer from Colorado State, deserves to be mentioned with Dame Lillard and Ray Allen as a shooter, I'm going to say that their preseason hype should be raised a little bit. That's impressive. And Earl Watson, that's not saying it from like nobody, right? That's not just some trainer. That's not a high school coach that's like, the best player I've ever played. I think he should be up there with Steph Curry. No, this is a guy that played in the NBA, coached coached in college, saying that Kyan Evans is one of the best shooters in the world. If you read the entire article on Inside Carolina, there's, he says all the things that you say about the best shooters. Defenses have to know where he is as soon as he steps across half court. Once he gets rolling, he's a streaky guy. He can make a whole bunch in a row. He will change the offense. There's a gravitational pull. He's such a good shooter that defenses just have to gravitate towards him, opening it up for everybody else. If that's all true about Kyan Evans, UNC is going to be much better than any of us are giving him credit for this year. If you mix that in with Hubert Davis and what he said about the freshmen, couple of them saying that he's going to put their number in the rafters, well, they're going to be really good this year if they live up to those very low expectations. Let's quit that. Let's hit this. Dave Doran spoke to the media today.
He did.
And we have some of that audio. We talked to him at ACC kickoff about competition at certain positions. He mentioned today when he spoke to the media that he's excited about the compete level in practice for some of those spots.
We have really good competition right now, and on both sides of the football. I told the staff that yesterday, from the specialists all the way through the position groups. It's been refreshing because sometimes when you get to your twos and then your threes, there's a massive drop-off, and we're not seeing that. We're seeing guys know what they're doing, they're playing hard, they're getting better, and so it's been a fun training camp competitively.
Coaches love nothing more than talking about iron sharpening iron and guys competing, and they both want it, and they're working hard. That's definitely Dave Doran's vibe, 100%. More audio from Dave Doran. Again, one of the motifs to follow throughout this season for NC State is last offseason, big flashy transfers. This offseason, not as many big flashy transfers, but some of those big flashy transfers from last year now have the continuity of a season under their belt, and they're coming back with maybe higher expectations. We're talking Justin Jolie, Noah Rogers, Wesley Grimes. There's a lot of names to add up. Doran was asked about the possibility of those second-year transfer players bringing the best out of them in year number 2.
Well, anytime, same thing with coaches, anytime you're going into the second season with somebody, you have that year of experience, you have the good things they did, the bad things, you can put things in place to improve them as players. In the year one with a coach or year one with a player, there's a lot of things you don't know. And so there's growing pains that you go through, and then, the players that returned have gotten a lot better, in the off-season program, learning what to do with their bodies so they can play at a higher level. Understanding the system, knowing their teammates. It's the same thing with coaches. They understand the routine. They know what the expectations are. They know their players. They know how to coach them. And so I expect a lot of growth, in the guys that came back that are second-year players for us from last year.
I agree with that. I'll also say this. The guys that are coming back are also just really good.
There's that, too.
First year, second year, third year. Justin Jolie's a dude. It's part of it is just the guys that remained are really good. So I'd expect big seasons from them. But I thought Justin Jolie, when given the opportunity, was really good last year. I think Noah Rogers is in a less crowded, maybe, or less dominated by Casey Concepcion wide receiver room. So with more opportunity, he'll be really good. I think there's a few different opportunities for second-year players to step up. There you go. Hit it and quit it here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis has something he wants to tell you, but first I'm just going to set up the conversation we have coming up. ESPN put out the highs and lows, the ceilings and floors for every NFL team according to their algorithm. They also added what the X factor is for each team, like the thing that their season hinges on. The Panthers' X factor is absolutely hilarious, and we will get to it. But first, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, are you struggling with high-interest debt? Are you maxed out on credit cards? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client recently got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That is a massive turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, folks, here's the thing about your home equity. It's yours. Use it. Take advantage of it to get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call now. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Call now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Again, get the conversation started by calling 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As I mentioned, I don't think you're going to be able to guess the X factor this season for the Carolina Panthers, according to ESPN. I'll reveal coming up.
Move your sports day forward.
The reality of how to fill time as an unemployed former football coach have taken the spotlight, and it's predictable. Jimbo Fisher wants to coach again just weeks after taking an ACC TV gig, and John Gruden collects swag while telling everyone he wants a college shot in the SEC. Old habits are hard to break, but really, who's going to say no to either guy?
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic Park scratch-off from the North Carolina Education Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $200,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Adventure awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.28. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Play action. Sanders picks up the blitz. Young will try to run, escapes the pressure, and waltzes into the middle of the end zone. He's turned into Merlin running the football. Touchdown, Carolina.
I don't know how he got through there.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So we're getting the record predictions, right? We talked about USA Today's ceilings and floors and what's the worst case scenario, what's the best case scenario for NFL teams. And today it was ESPN's turn. So you go to ESPN.com and they have an article that explains their feelings and their calculations have led to, this is the best case scenario for a team, this is the worst case scenario for a team. If you're wondering about the Panthers, ceiling 10-7, floor 5-12.
It's a pretty wide range.
It is.
I mean, I see arguments for both.
I was going to say it's probably a more realistic ceiling and floor than a lot give, because If you can predict, if you feel like you can predict most NFL teams to within 2 or 3 games, tell me, and I think we can find a way to make quite a bit of money. A 5-game, 5-win stretch where 5 to 10, that makes a little bit more sense. If you look at the Saints, 4 wins to 9 wins. You look at the Buccaneers, 7 wins to 12 wins. And you see some overlap there, right? Like if their floor is 7 wins and the Panthers' ceiling is 10 wins, there's multiple different ways where the Panthers can finish above the Bucs, even if their range is obviously predicting a better season for the Buccaneers. So that's where the Panthers are, and you can go look up every team you want, right? You can go look up go as crazy as you want to get. But here's where it gets funny. They also added the biggest X factor. Called it the biggest X factor. That's dramatic, right? And I'll give you some examples. The biggest X factor for the Falcons, right? Falcons, ceiling 11 wins, floor 5 wins. Biggest X factor, tight end Kyle Pitts. Look at the Minnesota Vikings, ceiling 11 wins, floor 5 wins. Biggest X factor, the run game. Well, I got a rookie quarterback. Run game would probably help. Makes a little bit of sense. I'll give you one more here. Green Bay Packers, ceiling 12 wins, floor 6 wins. Biggest X factor, defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, because he's coming up from continuing to establish himself from his college coaching days, right? And he's maybe didn't put together the best resume in the world last year, and maybe the offense needs a little help. All right, the defensive coordinator makes sense. These are very specific things that you can look at and say, all right, I guess their season could ride on it. Shall we get to the Carolina Panthers? Carolina Panthers, ceiling 10 wins, floor 5 wins. Biggest X factor, the defense. That's it. It just says the defense.
Bruh. Just one side of the football.
Just 50% of it. That side of the game. New Orleans Saints, ceiling 9, floor 4 wins. Biggest X factor, skill position players' health.
That's oddly specific.
Because Olave's been hurt a bunch, and Alvin Kamara is getting older,
yeah.
and it's so specific. Panthers, ceiling 10 wins, floor 5 wins. Biggest X factor, everybody that tries to stop the other team from scoring. Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, Christian Roseboom, Nick Scorton, all of them.
Trevin Wallace.
Shamar Bartholomew.
You're an X factor.
The defense is their X factor. Defensive coaching staff, sure, we'll include you. Defensive depth, yup. Front 7, secondary, safeties, all of it. The question in the explanation is, can the league's worst defense in 2024 become a top 20 unit? That's the X factor. That's the X factor. How unbelievable is it that you can have an entire half of football be the X factor? It's I'm trying to think of an apt analogy. I have a 4.5-year-old son at home. It'd be as if we're like trying to play baseball and someone's like, oh, great, can you guys play catch? Yeah, we can. He can't throw. It's like 50% of it, right? It's like, well, then I don't know if I'd be that confident in saying you're good at playing catch if he can't. You're not sure he can throw. The Panthers, like their win-loss, their ceiling and floor is right along with some of these other teams, right? It's close to the Falcons. It's right there with like I said, there's overlap with the Bucs. It's similar to the Arizona Cardinals, but they all have like these little tiny things to worry about. Meanwhile, the Panthers are like, yeah, everybody on that side of the locker room. And here's the worst part about it. It probably is easier to name the people on defense I'm not worried about than it is to name the defensive players that I am at least a little concerned with. Right? You get to that point where it's I could sit here and list a whole bunch of names, or I could name the 5 that I'm confident in, and then you'll just assume everybody else is worrisome, right? Because if you look at the defense, there are a few bets being had. And I said this last year going into their offseason, and I say it this year coming into to this preseason. So this is a thing that happens during a rebuild. There's only so many resources to go around, right? There's only so much room under the cap. There's only so much. There are only so many draft picks that you can make. There's only so many resources to go around. So at certain places, you're gonna have to make a bet on a player. Right, so they looked around and said, all right, we're going to spend some money on a big money free agent safety. They went and got Trevon Merrick. We're going to spend 2 day 2 draft picks on edge rushers. They went and got Nick Score and Princely Umanmielen. In making their decisions to put their resources there, they also said, we're going to take a pretty big bet on Michael Jackson as a every play tested a whole bunch corner opposite of J.C. Horn. And they said, you know what, we're going to probably take a big bet on guys like Shaw Smith-Wade and Damani Richardson, who we didn't invest in a lot last year, but showed enough signs that they can provide the depth at important positions. Same is true with linebacker. Right? Now we, meaning from the outside, we're very surprised. Actually, I shouldn't speak for all of us. I was very surprised the day before training camp when Josie Jewell was released, and they went through the explanation, the context of the head injuries and the concussion protocol that he was still in, but I was still surprised. I don't think the Panthers were surprised there, right? Because they were in communication, and they knew if he was passing protocol or not, and they went through the entire offseason with him and everything else. So the fact that their linebackers are a point of concern to me and could be seen as an X factor because they're part of the defense, is part of the Panthers saying, no, actually, Roseboom and Wallace we're confident in, and maybe a player like Radigan or whoever they have with depth pieces, they're taking a bet on. Because you can't solve everything. You only have so much going on. And where does that leave you? Well, it leaves you with the world's funniest X factor. Like the Chiefs, their X factor, rookie left tackle Josh Simmons. The Chargers X factor, the rushing offense. Dallas has a pretty good one. Dallas is pretty funny. Brian Schottenheimer, their head coach, is their X factor. All right, I get you. But most teams, they limited the pivot point. The whole season comes down to they limited it to one guy. For the Giants, can left tackle Andrew Thomas play well enough to protect their quarterback to get the ball to Malik Neighbors, right? Their biggest X factor is left tackle Andrew Thomas. For the Eagles, their biggest X factor is running back Saquon Barkley. He's coming off 480 touches. Can he hold up for another season? There's X factors that are that nitty-gritty, and they looked at the Panthers and circled half the roster and said, if those guys can play well.
These 25 guys.
That's what they're doing. I don't know if it's impressive that somehow they got to a 10-win ceiling with half the roster as a big X factor, or if it's terrifying that then they're not 100% confident that an entire half of football has anything they can depend on. Goodness gracious, that is hilarious. If I had to give an X factor, it's the secondary. If I had to give an X factor, it more specifically, free safety and second corner. I think those guys are going to have a lot. If they hold up, it makes everyone else's job easier, and then you can have an on-ramp for the rookies to figure it out. It's part of the defense, so I guess I'm agreeing with them in some way. But it's the secondary not named Horn and Merrick is the thing that I think the season hinges on most obviously. Outside of the play of Bryce Young, because if we were being real, I think 28 of the 32 teams, if ESPN put out an honest X factor, it would be the quarterback play. That's just kind of how it goes in the NFL. Outside of that, though, free safety, off corner, second corner, whatever you want to call them. Not J.C. Horn corner. And if J.C. Horn gets hurt, both corners. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. The X factor for Miller Lending, the thing that everything hinges on, their no closing cost loan. It's the X factor because it's why you should be choosing Miller Lending. No cost loan. It's what other teams don't have. It's what other mortgage brokers don't have. At least they may advertise they do, and then they just take the closing costs and call them a hidden or a closing surcharge or repackage it some other way and still cost you the money. No. Miller Lending, zero means zero. No costs, no fees, no third-party fees, no hidden surcharge. They don't repackage it. You pay your monthly payment. They get rid of the closing costs. It's that simple. If you want to learn more, feel free to call. The number, 919-447-3377. Say, Tim on 99.9 The Fan said you can do away with my closing costs. I challenge you to show me how, and they will. 919-447-3377. You don't have to, do it like you're challenging them to a duel in 1920. Go online at millerlending.com to learn more as well, or 1820. When were duels? Online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. We have the starting five coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I know the hurricane season came to an end. Another year with a loss to Florida in the Eastern Conference Finals, 2 of the last 3. But it's been a great year, and it's going to be a great summer with all that cap room the Hurricanes have. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, from free agency to trades to the draft. We'll have player interviews, special sit-down with Rod Brindamore that he doesn't even know about yet. He'll do it, don't worry. Just stay tuned to the Canes Corner podcast on YouTube. Search Canes Corner and wherever you get your podcast.
So, you found the one and want to get married? Next step, you need the ring. And not just any ring. The perfect engagement sparkle that exemplifies your love. Bailey's Fine Jewelry is here to help. Our diamond experts, wide selection of high-quality diamonds, and financing make saying I do easy. We guarantee you'll love the ring or your money back. You're invited to see why Bailey's has been voted best place to buy your diamonds. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com to find out more.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today. You heard that right. Conquer the stair climber with your partner in climb. Enjoy a post-workout recovery session in the hydro massage and do it all again with access to any of our 2,700 convenient locations. So, you coming? Get all the perks with the PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Offer ends August 14th.
See Club for details.
Genie log, day 15,824. The Powerball jackpot is over $500 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10x10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $500 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We have the chance for a few showers and storms early this evening, maybe a greater chance as we get toward midnight. Mostly cloudy, 73, and then partly cloudy tomorrow afternoon, about a 50% chance for storms. The high temperature, 87.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. The Dow Jones at the closing bell today up 463 points to 44,922.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Drive is the business edition of The Drive today. There will be quite a few facts and figures and business conversations in the starting five. But we don't start with that. We start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We start with some old school Bill Belichick football talk. So Bill Belichick talked to the media today, head coach UNC. I was talking with some people outside the market last night. Matter of fact, it was, if you were listening to this station, we were on air. Appreciate you. It was overnights. And I need to branch out and talk to people outside of the triangle more often, because you get they are fascinated with Belichick at UNC. Right? So I'm co-hosting with someone in Florida, the producers in Connecticut, and we're every commercial break. So how's the Bill Belichick thing's been down there in Chapel Hill? So what's Belichick like down there in Chapel Hill? I've heard about Bill Belichick in Chapel Hill. We really are in the crosshairs of the national curiosity. And
which is what UNC wanted, by the way.
100%. That's why you're paying them all that money. I will say, and this is not just to the guys I was talking with last night, but I think a bit of it is the cliche of people that watch NASCAR races for the crash. I think there's a bit of morbid curiosity watching it, and they're just waiting for it to go south. They almost find a bit of glee if UNC doesn't have the season they're hoping for this year. And, no publicity is bad publicity, right? Whatever, if they're tuning in to hate listen to what Bill Belichick has to say, I guess that's something for UNC, right? Attention is attention. But it's around here, I don't want to say we're used to it, because we're not. It's still Bill Belichick coaching in college. It's still weird. But we're definitely way more used to it than everybody else in the country, right? We've had it. We're more numb to it. They're so is it actually, is he actually there? Is he coaching? Is he actually doing it? Do you think he'll be there next year? Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of questions. Belichick spoke to the media today, and maybe this is the sign that it is settling in. Spoke to the media about their preseason, and sounded to me like Patriots Belichick. He was asked where the emphasis has been when it comes to installing the playbook and the offense, and here's what he had to say.
You can install a lot of the passing game with no pads on, and guys run around, and honestly there's not a lot of contact, or you can eliminate the contact part and get the timing part of the passing game, the coverages and so forth. The running game's a little different story. So today's our second day in pads, full pads. So we're going to concentrate more on the running game, because this is our chance to concentrate on it. It's not just knowing what to do, but it's actually working on the fundamentals of doing it. The double team blocks, the back blocks, the kick out blocks, the backs reading those blocks and so forth. So today the emphasis will be more on that, because it's our opportunity to do it. Tomorrow, when we won't be in full pads, there'll be more emphasis on the passing game, third down passing, red area passing, 2-minute drills, things like that. So we try to, a little bit based on what we're wearing, emphasize what's, what we can get the most out of.
Do you know what I want Bill Belichick to do? You're familiar with the cinematic masterpiece Forrest Gump.
Oh, of course.
When Bubba is listing all the different ways you can cook shrimp, right? You can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, bake it, saute it, kebabs, pineapple, shrimp, lemon, the whole thing. I want him to do that with just blocks. When he in the middle of that answer, when he just realized he could kill 20 seconds just going kick out blocks, double team blocks, one-on-one blocks, backside blocks, frontside blocks,
cut back block,
cut back block, cut
down block,
down block,
reach block. Yeah.
You could
pull.
Exactly. You could pull. You could double pull. You could use the center pull. You could.
We can guard and tackle both pull.
You could reset. You get the protections. You could have 5-man. You could have 6-man. You could have 7-man. You could chip with the running back. You could chip with the tight end. You could double team with the tight end. You could leave a tight end on an island. You could I just want him to do the Bubba with just blocks and then go and that's about it, and walk off. Because that's kind of what he's doing, by the way. Like, coaches know they got to speak to the media. So if they get a question about something mundane, or if they can somehow take even a good question, I'm not knocking the reporters. If they get a good question and drive the conversation to something mundane that won't reveal anything, and they can just stay there in that pocket for a minute, 2 minutes. I mean, that's a running play when you're up 4 and you stayed in bounds, right? You're just keeping the clock running, trying to get to that final buzzer. He's out there running the 4-minute offense on us. And then as soon as he's done talking about blocks, he's like, and we can put in 4 verticals from a 2x2 set. We could go from a 3x1 set. We could get 2 tight ends on the field. We could split one out. We could have them both attached. It's like he's just killing time with football words. We could go field zone blitz. We could go double A gap. We could go with the safety blitz. We could bark. We could do all the blitzes. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
It means more.
NFL latest. There is news happening in the NFL every single day. James Cook got paid. How about that? Little holdout worked quite well for James Cook.
The Buffalo Bills running back who scored 18 touchdowns last season.
4 years. Was it $48 million? Is that what it came out to?
Yeah, 4 years, $48 million, $30 million guaranteed. He's in the final year of his rookie contract.
Do you know what? I'm going to just double-check this for 1 second. There's one thing that about James Cook makes this deal very interesting to me, and I just want to make sure here. There it is. He played 48% of the team's offensive snaps.
48?
48.
Fresh legs?
48% of the team's offensive snaps. Actually, fresh legs is a great point. And I think that's a to group this in with the Panthers. I think that's a positive of Chuba Hubbard as well, because there were years in their career where they were not the primary back, so they don't have the same wear and tear as they look for their second contract as certain other running backs. I saw this tweet from Sneaky Joe, which is he hosts mornings on WGR 550 up there in upstate New York. So he covers the Bills. If you combine college and pro touches, okay, James Cook has 927 college and pro touches. So from his college career and his time with the Bills, he's had the ball 927 times. If you combine Ashton Genty's college and pro touches, which, yes, in case you're wondering, the pro touches would be 0. 830 touches. James Cook has been in the NFL for a while. He has less than 100 more touches than Ashton Genty when you combine college and pro. So paying James Cook may come with a bit more comfort in he's not as banged up as some other running backs. So when you see like age 27 and you think about that 27, 28-year-old cliff that a lot of non-alien, like non-Derrick Henry, when the injuries start piling up for running backs, maybe you're a little bit more comfortable with James Cook because he doesn't have those touches. And the same could be true for Chuba Hubbard. I don't know his touch totals off the top of my head, but I know that there were years where he was not the primary running back for the Panthers and thus didn't get the workload of a bell cow and might have a little bit extra tread on the tires. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe like what running back agents are going to hope for is you don't play a lot your first 2 years. Then the last 2 years of your rookie contract is where you build your value, and then you go into the negotiations with not only he's really good, but also he's really good and he hasn't been in 1,000 NFL car crashes getting the ball 250 times a year through his first 4 years. I'm just talking out loud here. Other news, thinking out loud is what I meant to say. Jordan Love had surgery on his non-throwing thumb yesterday, or they elected to. I don't know if he had it yesterday or today. As a former quarterback, non-throwing thumb, I'm not worried about it at all. especially as a guy that he's in the shotgun so darn much. Your non-throwing thumb is very important for taking snaps under center. As far as I'm concerned, if you're in the gun, you could put a club on it like you're a defensive lineman. You could just wrap that thing up, pin it, and you're good to go. Maybe this is another YouTube special thing. I was talking about this yesterday, and one of the ways I described Jordan Love's injury was if you're a quarterback and the injury gods come to your front door and say, you're going to be hurt tomorrow, but I will let you pick the body part that gets hurt. I think offhand, non-throwing thumb is like, it's not a first-round draft pick, but it's a day 2 pick. Like, it's far from the worst one. I mean, obviously anything on your throwing arm, throwing shoulder, throwing hand is much worse, but, really only a few other things are better than an off-throwing hand injury, so I think he's doing okay. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3. Now let's enter into the business portion of the starting 5. Sportico covers the business side of sports. Revealed or announced, put out, I don't know what you want to call it, dropped their annual list of financial valuations, how much they think each franchise in the NFL is worth. Now, overall, business is booming. Every single franchise in the NFL is up at least 12% in valuation year over year. That's pretty impressive when you consider that the cheapest one, the least valuable one right now, is the Bengals at $5.5 billion. So moving up double-digit percentage is a lot of money. So things are going well for NFL owners and investors. For the Panthers, they're not going as well as everybody else. You heard me say that every franchise is up at least 12%. Guess who's up just 12%? Carolina Panthers. They increased in value the least of every NFL team, of any NFL team. 12%. The next closest I think we saw was the Colts at 15%. Now, I don't pretend to be a business genius. Far from it. I don't know why. Business layman, barely. But it's there's probably some staring in the mirror that has to happen for the Panthers if you look around and go, why is everybody else gaining value at a rate faster than us? The Panthers last year were 24th highest valued, most expensive. The 24th highest evaluation. This year they were 27th highest evaluation, dropped 3 spots. That's as much as anybody. In a world where money matters, right? In a world where money matters, why are you gaining money less? You know what, Dennis? I just had a thought. I'm a devil's advocate. My own argument right here.
Okay. It's good to think from things from both sides.
This coming from David Tepper is really rich.
Extremely.
I want to say he's top 2 or 3 richest owners in the NFL. I think he might only be behind the Waltons, who own the Broncos, or the Walmart Waltons.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe he's like, we don't have to squeeze every million out of the Panthers? A couple million here, a couple million there. What does that matter to me?
I don't know.
Meanwhile, all these other owners are like, no, if we build a practice thing, we got to do it efficiently. We got to do this in a way that makes us the most money because, we don't have 30 billion, 40 billion, whatever Tepper has from our hedge fund investments over there at Appaloosa Management that we can lean on. Because it would be kind of a baller move to truly buy an NFL franchise as a plaything. Right? It's just like, I'm not doing this for the cash. I'm doing this, it's a toy. Right? Like people say that
like a status symbol.
People say like buying a boat isn't a great investment, right?
No, it's not.
I've never done it, but that's like a cliche, right? That it's not a great investment. But you don't buy a boat expecting to flip it and make money on it the next year. You buy a boat saying like, I want to go tubing, right? Like I want to have a good time on the lake or in the ocean, whatever it is. Is there a world where David Tepper bought the Panthers like other people buy pontoon boats? Where they're like, I know it's not a great investment, but I just like it. I wanted to have one, always did. So everyone else is managing their money like we gotta build our value, and he's like, as long as we can get gas in it and we can go out there and have some fun with the kids, we're having a good day. That'd be baller if that's true. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us.
Speaking of the business side of sports, NC State announced a partnership with a group. Let me find this. Titled or called Oakview Group. Oakview is a global leader. This is according to the press release from NC State. A global leader in live venue development, premium hospitality, and 360-degree entertainment solutions. I think, and Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong here, after looking into this further, that thing I just read is a wordy, impressive way to say they're going to bring cool concerts and events to Carter-Finley Stadium.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
There you go. I mean, having a giant stadium like Carter-Finley, right? Carter-Finley's a big place, fit thousands and thousands of people in it, and leaving it vacant, empty for months at a time, it does feel like a bit of a waste. It does feel like there's some way you could make money off of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, Airbnb that bad boy out to Beyonce, right? Like, Airbnb that thing to Pink. I don't know who's touring now.
I mean, we've seen Carter-Finley get used not Carter-Finley, but Kenan Stadium and Chapel Hill get used for major soccer events over the summer the last couple of years.
I mean, that's a great point. Why not play some friendlies? Why not let the Bananas in?
Yeah. Seriously.
The venue has previously hosted Beyonce in 2016, Rolling Stones in 2015, Muse in 2009, U2 in 2009, among others. Bring in a bunch of those in the off season, and whatever money it makes, give it to the players. Have that help cover your $20.5 million revenue share, and there you go. Right, and bring in the gambling money that the legislators still have to decide how much is going to go to which schools, and have that help cover it. And suddenly, out of just revenue sources, revenue streams that were not around in the pre-NIL world, in the pre-revenue share world, you can cover all your new expenses. I'm gonna go with some parent logic here. My mom always says. Right, that's a great way to start the story. My mama always says, Mama said, every time it's like, you get a raise at work, or every time, you learn that, I don't know, you had an investment that made some money or whatever. Also, it's like, that's when the lawnmower breaks, right? That's when something happens. It's always like, well, it's there when you need it, right? There's always that. It's kind of what happens with NC State right now, or it's what's happening across college sports. It's like sports gambling becomes legal. They're going to get this fat check from the taxes taken out of sports gambling. Right at the same time, they have this new expense for NIL and revenue share paying players. And now look at this. Oh, we'll open up Carter-Finley, and we'll partner with Oakview Group, and we'll bring in all this extra money that was not coming in 4 years ago. Oh, look at that. We also have to pay our basketball team. And now we have this money. So we don't have to cut money elsewhere. We don't have to dip into areas that we don't want to dip into. We just have new revenue streams that can pay for our new expenses. Bet you never thought when this revenue share started and everybody was yelling about how terrible it is that athletes are going to get paid their worth, you'd be thinking like, well, actually, they could pay for this with Rolling Stones ticket revenue. But you think outside the box just a little bit, and it might make sense. Are the Rolling Stones still touring?
No, I don't think so.
They're getting up there. Change that to Taylor Swift revenue.
Why not?
Ed Sheeran revenue. I don't know. Who are the biggest touring bands now?
I mean, there's still the possibility that college football teams can sell advertising spots on their field.
Boom.
Open that up. Put Bojangles. Put them right there in the red zones. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Make that part of a thing, and then you can also, add it with, you sell Bojangles in the in the stadium. You also put the logos.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to add revenue in order to your school, the more you can do, the better.
If the opposing team misses a field goal, everybody gets a Bo biscuit.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Wouldn't that be something, you see like in basketball?
Yeah,
like
with the missed free throws.
Yeah, the missed free throws in the second half. If a kicker misses a field goal in the fourth quarter of a game, Bo-berry biscuits
There you
or
go.
something like that.
Yeah. Now we're just doing other people's jobs.
Exactly.
If some salesperson out there for State, if you're using that,
or anybody,
all I ask is that we get an extra biscuit. I don't want a ton.
I'm just asking for a Bo box.
For us,
That's it.
For us,
keep the tea. That's fine.
For us, it's any time in the second half. Everybody else, it's the fourth quarter.
Exactly.
Just double our chances. What number was that?
That was 2.
2. Let's get to the big number 1.
Go one!
Business continues. Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon has an agreement in place to purchase the Portland Trailblazers. The owner of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes has agreed to buy NBA franchise, National Basketball Association, the Fighting Dame Lillards, the Portland Trailblazers from the estate of Paul G. Allen for a valuation of just more than $4 billion. Sources confirmed to ESPN on Wednesday. Sportico had it first, I believe. Dundan intends to keep the team in Portland, so you can at least lower your expectations for the Trailblazers to Raleigh. Sources told ESPN he intends to keep it in Portland. Other members of the ownership group include Mark Czar, co-president of Blue Owl Capital, and Sheil Tile, Portland-based founder and co-CEO of Collective Global. There are 2 questions that we haven't quite addressed enough. One of them is, could the Blazers move to Raleigh? Which I just kind of threw a little wet blanket on with the report from ESPN that it doesn't appear as if there are any plans. And then you could add on to that, if you look at his ownership group, there are a few heavy hitters in the ownership group with strong ties to Portland. So you would guess they wouldn't be like, maybe it's, they can like a Trojan horse situation, but you would guess they wouldn't be interested in uprooting a team in a place they care about and bringing them across country. Now, I want to be clear here. I am not advocating for this, but I do think if you ask a question in one direction, we just talked about it, sometimes it is good to think about things from the other direction, from the other side. Make sure nothing is going to catch you by surprise. If it's obvious the Blazers aren't moving to Raleigh, would anybody be concerned about a potential Canes to Portland move? Because
no.
I agree that we shouldn't be, but Dundon's a Texas guy, right? I know he's spending a bunch of money here, but we haven't seen a lot of breaking ground here on all the around the deal. You know what I'm talking about, the entertainment district around the Lenovo.
Well, they've already started the renovations inside the building, so it's already started. There's a lot of money already committed.
Here, by the way, and I don't think it's going to happen either, so it's just you got to ask the question so we can move on from it. I do think that there could be not that dramatic of a move, but Tom Dundon is buying the Blazers at an evaluation of $4 billion. Generously, the evaluations I see for the Carolina Hurricanes are $1.5 billion or less, right? Like 1.3, depending on where you look, up to 1.5. There could be a little bit of a jealousy thing that happens shortly here, where it's like, wait a second, the Portland Trailblazers are getting all that new arena, that new this, you're spending all that money over there, and we're your original, right? Oh, you went and got a $4 billion NBA team. Isn't that nice? Like the Canes could benefit maybe from being a little under the radar. Maybe they don't have, Tom Dundon, the chaperone, as aggressively in all their business, but also I don't know if you're going to be his priority anymore, which is a weird thing to say, right? He only has $1.5 billion of his net worth tied up in the Canes. He has billions of his net worth tied up in the Portland Trailblazers. I'm only saying that for this reason. I am, and I've said this before, grew up a Philadelphia 76ers fan, okay? Josh Harris owns the Philadelphia 76ers. You know what else Josh Harris owns? As of a couple years ago? The Washington Commanders. And it just seems like he is pretty darn proud of everything that's going well over there with the Washington Commanders, and he doesn't spend as much time around the Sixers as our team is collapsing. Once you get owners, like it's one thing if you are like Mark Walter, who just bought the Lakers, and he also owns the Dodgers, and he also owns the LA Kings, and I think he owns maybe like a women's pro tennis something or another, or lacrosse something or another, hockey something or another. He owns like the whole league of a women's league. But all of it is pretty much based in LA. Portland and Raleigh are not close. And where he is physically could rub some people the wrong way. Because I'll tell you right now, the Sixers are dealing with some stuff. And Josh Harris just loves going to training camp with the Washington Commanders, and he loves watching Jaden Daniels. And I'm going, have you checked up on Embiid? Do we know he can walk? Stretching yourself a little thin there, huh? Owning two teams in different cities. Think there could be a trade? Think he could trade like the Sixers for the Wizards or something like that?
Right.
Just so he can consolidate his ownership? Do you think Dundan would trade the Blazers for the Hornets? Then he could own two in Carolina. Like, I don't know. We'll give you the Blazers for the Hornets and a like ECHL team to be named later. Like, could we orchestrate a trade of some kind? We'll give you a AA squad and the Hornets for the Blazers and a rookie ball team. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we grab our numbers game contestants, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Unfortunately, the weather stinks. The motorcycle gets parked, but before you get back on the motorcycle, if you've had it sitting in storage for a while, maybe it's sitting in the garage, hopefully you have it covered and protected if you don't have a way to store it indoors, is make sure you run a proper inspection on your bike before you hop back out on there on the road and start hitting the highway. Make sure your tire pressure is up to date. Give your bike a wash. That's actually one of the best things you can do for your motorcycle is actually just cleaning your motorcycle on a consistent basis. Make sure there's no rust on the brake discs, all those kinds of things. Make sure you keep your bike nice and clean. Do all the things properly before you get out there on the road. But if you are doing all the right things, unfortunately, injuries can happen if you're involved in an accident. And this is where Law Tigers steps in for you. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. Your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they don't get paid until your case settles. Here's the thing with insurance companies as well. Insurance companies want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, like I said, they are there for you. That's why you got to give them a call even before you contact the insurance companies at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need numbers game contestants. And the reason we need numbers game contestants is because we have a $25 gift card to Sharky's that we want to give away, but you have to earn. So call in right now. We need two contestants, 919-860-5326 for your chance to play the numbers game. And if you win, you'll earn a $25 gift card to Sharky's. Sharky's with back-to-back wins for best wings in the triangle, voted best sports bar, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world. Sharky's. Numbers game coming up next.
You've heard the perfect scores on air. We're bringing our champions to the stage. It's our second annual Numbers Game Live Show, presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. Perfect players will compete on August 21st at the fabulous Hilton Raleigh North Hills. Watch on YouTube as we crown a Numbers Game champ. Special thanks to On-Site AV, a full-service event production company, for lighting up Numbers Game Live.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab two of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Still time. I don't know if call or drop. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we need to look into our cell service. 919-860-5326. You could win a Sharky's Place $25 gift card. And you could make whoever just dropped off the line really sad that they don't get a chance to win. Sharky's with back-to-back-to-back-to-back wins for best wings in the Triangle, voted best sports bar, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world, Sharky's. Again, the number to call is 919-860-5326. Do so quickly, and you might get pushed right onto the show. In the meantime, second annual Numbers Game Live, presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill, takes place Thursday, August 21st. Perfect players, that's the perfect scores, will battle the clock and each other at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills, a fabulous hotel for all your needs. To find out who's the best at the numbers game, we're crowning a champion. If you're not a participant, you can watch along as we crown our champion live on YouTube. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe now and you'll be A-OK. Special thanks to Onsite AV, a full-service event productions company, for supplying the sights and sounds of Numbers Game Live. August 21st is the date. It's getting closer and closer. Hopefully you're out there practicing if you are one of our perfect score contestants that have been invited and already RSVP'd. If you maybe shuffling through some sports cards, some trading cards, looking at players, looking at numbers, seeing how it goes, that's one option. All right, we have the contestants loaded up here, ready to play. We have Brendan in Raleigh. Now I have to get my sheet together, my scores sheet. And Cranford and Ashboro is what I'm being told is our next contestant. So the way this works, I'm going to ask them both the same question. That person, Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first, and we'll go from there. Brandon and Raleigh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, the question for today is, we're going to have a similar conversation to this in a couple minutes, but I don't know if you've heard. Taylor Swift is on Travis Kelce's podcast. Big news. So my question for you is, who would be the biggest, they have to be alive, like current alive person. Who would be the biggest podcast guest possible that would bring in the most eyeballs? If it's not Taylor Swift, it would be fill in the blank.
LeBron James.
LeBron James, that's a solid answer. Solid answer. Dennis, any follow-ups?
No questions.
All right, we'll go to Cranford and Ashboro. Cranford, are you there?
Yes.
Same question to you. In honor of Taylor Swift going on podcast. If it's not Taylor Swift, this person would be the biggest podcast guest possible. Who is it?
Big Daddy T. Trump Dog.
Trump, yeah. I probably should have eliminated politics because that's a different beast entirely. But they went with Trump or LeBron. Those are your two options.
Both will be massive. Thinking on a sports-related show, I'm going to go with stick with sports here. I'll go LeBron on this one because LeBron's going to pull in a lot of eyeballs.
How about this? We get Trump, LeBron, and Swift on the same podcast. Break the internet. Brandon in Raleigh gets to go first. Cranford and Ashboro, you'll be going second. So stay on hold. Brandon, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories are NFL players with mid-August birthdays, NFL players that played their college football in the ACC, and they are pros since 2020. So they're recent pros that played in college in the ACC. NBA short names, players whose first and last names combine for less than 9 letters, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Hurricanes throughout history.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. And I will say that the team in this category, even though we know the team, to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Any questions before we get started?
Good to go.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jordan Martinook, Carolina Hurricanes.
48.
Correct. Pyotr Kochetkov, Carolina Hurricanes.
52.
Correct. Victor Rask, Carolina Hurricanes.
11.
Incorrect. Matt Cullen, Carolina Hurricanes.
8.
Correct. Nelson Emerson, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. Victor Rask, Carolina Hurricanes.
67.
Incorrect. Nelson Emerson, Carolina Hurricanes.
16.
Incorrect. Victor Rask, Carolina Hurricanes.
57.
You were kind of honing in on it. You still needed a few more there. You got Martinook, you got Kochetkov, you got Cullen. It's good for 3. For Rask, we were looking for 49, and Emerson, 19. So you were in the teens with Emerson. You were probably about 30 seconds away from a perfect score. But 3 is still a really good number. We'll see if it holds up for the win, all right?
Sweet.
That brings us to Cranford and Ashboro. Cranford, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Categories that are remaining for you to choose from. NFL players.
I'll do the ACC one.
Okay, these are all NFL players since 2020 that played their college football in the ACC. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quick as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You need at least 4 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Drake May, New England Patriots.
17.
Incorrect. Zay Flowers, Baltimore Ravens.
13.
Incorrect. Drake May, New England Patriots.
8.
Incorrect. Zay Flowers, Baltimore Ravens.
3.
Incorrect. Drake May, New England Patriots.
21.
Incorrect. Zay Flowers, Baltimore Ravens.
Zay Flowers. 16.
Incorrect. Drake May, New England Patriots. I like how you turned a number into Zay Flowers. You were like, hey, Z Flowers. That's a 0. That's an 0 for. We were looking for 10 for May and 4 for Flowers. Obviously played at UNC and Boston College. Not enough for the win, but hopefully you had a good time.
Thank you.
All right. And that means Brandon and Raleigh is the winner. Congratulations, Brandon. You get a $25 gift card to Sharky's Place.
Sweet.
Go ahead and stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. There you go. Sharky's Place. Presenting our Numbers Game Live, by the way, coming up August 21st. So shout out to them. Also,
that's a week from tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Got to do some math there. But yes, on-air math, it's always dangerous, but I think you are correct. We are a week away, which, again, work on it. If you're out there, practice. I'm telling you, the competition will be fierce. We learned that last year. They don't play around when it comes to the numbers game, our top competitors. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here right now for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. No matter what it is acting up in your house, Maynard Service Company can get it back in line. And then on top of that, they do so with excellent customer service. Do you know what I really like? I like when there's an area of expertise that you maybe aren't an expert in. And I like it when somebody explains it to you in a way that you can understand. I like when somebody talks to you as if you're not a dummy for not knowing everything about your HVAC system. Or I'm not a plumber. I never learned. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. So can you please talk to me about what's going on and why the drip is coming from the top of my kitchen? Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, Manor Service Company with good bedside manner, I guess is kind of the way I'm describing it. They will come in. They will fix it. They will do so efficiently. They will do so with quality work that will last, but also they'll do so in a way that makes you feel comfortable. Right? They're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. They're not trying to make it so you're uncomfortable during the process. They're all about customer service. It's part of the reason why I'm such a big fan of Manor Service Company. I think you should be as well. So give them a call, 919-361-0993, and also bookmark their phone number, right? Save it in your phone so when you have those emergencies, right? When something is dripping and it shouldn't, when lights aren't turning on and they should, or your cooling system goes out and it's hot, whatever it is, right? Those emergency situations, you want to have the number already ready to roll. So save this number, Manor Service Company, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online at manorservices.com, MAYNOR services.com. If it's not Taylor Swift, who is the biggest possible podcast guest in the world? What about the biggest possible podcast guest in sports? We break it down coming up.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the preseason, so me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, are back in the trenches with our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp rolls forward. Insight on the rookies, the fresh free agents and surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence. Call Trajan today, 919-200-4000. That's 919-200-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for Raleigh Weight Loss Center. If you've struggled with your weight like I have, or bounced from one fad diet to the next, you need to listen to this. I can proudly say I lost nearly 20 pounds in 2 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and that was just the start. The program helps you reset your metabolism naturally. No steroids, no shots, no HGH, no side effects, just your body losing a half pound to a pound per day and doing it in a way where you can maintain that goal weight. It's frustrating when you feel like you're doing the right things with zero results. Trust me, I've been there, but this is the lightest I've been in years. My clothes fit better, I have more energy when I'm active and playing sports, and I'm sleeping better. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. Again, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or again, give them a call, 919-897-7506. 919-897-7506. Start that weight loss journey now. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to do some dream booking here. So there's some podcasts with some musician, some football player, some football player's brother. That's going to drop tonight. I don't know if you've heard. Taylor Swift. She's going to be on a podcast. They're going to talk about things. I don't know. I don't pay attention enough to Taylor Swift. Swifties, please don't come attack me. But it did get me thinking, right? There's very few podcast guests anymore, or interview guests, right? That doesn't have to be podcast. Could be like, the sit down on TV. Could be a radio hour. Could be whatever. There's very few that like become an event. Right? There's very few sit-downs. It used to be like Bob Costas would get Mickey Mantle for an hour, and they would sit down and talk about the Yankees' heyday, and it would be like, well, guys, I can't go out to eat tonight. The Bob Costas Mickey Mantle thing comes on at 6. Like, that's where I'm going to be. What are you talking about? Right? Those things used to happen, and then at the early stages of podcasts, even there would be like this. Ooh, did you hear who's going to be on? Doesn't happen much anymore. And do you know, I started having this thought of, if it's not Taylor Swift, who would be the biggest event? They're going to do the full hour and a half, right? They're going to give us their thoughts. And my first instinct, right, because I'm very analytic this way, is, well, let me go look up like the top streaming artists and see like who's close to Taylor, or the top touring artists. And it's like, all right, who's there? And one of the names that popped up on every list that I Googled was Ed Sheeran. And I was like, all right, let me go. It doesn't work. Ed Sheeran's on every podcast already. He's been on Kylie Kelsey's podcast. Not only is he not a big deal for Travis Kelsey's podcast, he's already been on the spinoff of the Travis Kelsey podcast. So it's like, that's how most celebrities are treated now, right? It's like, if you want to go, I was like Denzel Washington. Would that work? If you want to go listen to like a half hour of Jamie Foxx interviewing Denzel Washington, you can. It's out there. It's already there. So it had to be a celebrity that doesn't do it often and is also as intriguing as like the most famous people in the world. I came up with a list. Would Leonardo DiCaprio work? I don't know anything about that guy's personal life aside from he likes dating younger ladies.
Okay.
That's like it, right? He's been so private. If he agreed to go on a podcast and like answer questions and give the stories and everything, it could work. Obviously, if you go Taylor Swift, I feel like the Red Sox to her Yankees or Yankees to her Red Sox is Beyonce. Like, would Beyonce work?
Yeah, probably.
If Beyonce was like, I'm going to go on the whatever pod, that would be a big deal. From a sports standpoint, I'm going to add a caveat here.
Okay.
They'd have to give us their word that they're not gonna coach speak us. We're not gonna get a sanitized version. You're not gonna be worried about your legacy. Like, we're gonna have some real talk. If you gave me Jordan or Tiger, and they agreed to like be not the people that have been the most famous people in the world for the last like 3 decades, for Tiger and much longer for MJ, like if they agreed to not, coach speak their way, I think that would do numbers. If MJ, didn't give us the Last Dance version of the story, the one that he produced and it was his footage and he got to see the final cut, if he just went on there and chatted, I think it could work. Obviously, Ronaldo, that wouldn't be my cup of tea, but do you know he's the most followed person on social media of anybody?
It's insane, his following.
Like, I'm not talking athletes, I'm not talking celebrities, like any head of state, any person, he is the most followed on social media. So Cristiano Ronaldo is probably the answer for sports. I do have some complete wild cards.
Okay.
Banksy. The artist, like the graffiti artist who's all this stuff is worth like billion or millions of dollars, but nobody knows who he is or she. Banksy is like, it's like an idea, but like, randomly in some alley, there'll be a canvas. And if you pick it up, it's like, oh, great, there's $14 million for you because it's a Banksy. Or how about this one? Satoshi Nakamoto. You ever heard of Satoshi Nakamoto? The creator of Bitcoin, who nobody knows who it is? Nobody has any clue who it is. They created Bitcoin, and reportedly, again, I don't understand all the crypto world, 100 billion plus, like $135 billion is in a crypto wallet for this person, this entity, and it hasn't been touched in years. If Satoshi Nakamoto, the only thing would be, like, it might be someone we know. What if it's just like, you know, Jake Paul just shows up like, I'm Satoshi Nakamoto, and it's like, oh, never mind, I don't trust Bitcoin at all. There's that. But I think there's one that I think could actually be a real answer, and then I have the actual real answer for what could be bigger than Taylor Swift.
All right.
Prince William or Kate Middleton.
Oh, all right, yeah.
If they're going to tell some secrets, I think that people are weird. I'm not, but people are weirdly obsessed with that. So I think that's a possibility. And then if you absolutely want the home run, this is like in this analogy, Taylor Swift, the podcast guest, is like Derrick Henry in the open field. I don't think you're going to tackle him with one. You need to gang tackle, right? So I don't think you're going to get a bigger podcast buzz than Taylor Swift with just one guest. But what if we brought Drake and Kendrick Lamar? What if we brought Ronaldo and Messi on the same podcast? They sat in the same room and we chopped it up. What if we got, to mix my two possible answers without knowing anything of the dynamics, this is going to get me in trouble, Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton, and we sat them down in a room with your favorite podcast host or interviewer, and that thing would do numbers. Dennis, I'll put this one on you quickly.
Okay.
We just learned that Carter-Finley is going to start booking a bunch more concerts. They've got an outside help to do it. Firm, group, whatever you want to call it. Who do you hope we learn of next? We know Chris Brown's coming. I assume that wouldn't have been your number one answer.
No, it wasn't.
What big concert do you hope comes through Carter-Finley?
Well, just because I know he's done Dreamville so big over the last several years, J. Cole I think would be a great one to have there. I mean, Dreamville's been massive at Dix Park there in Raleigh, and it sells out fast and makes a ton of money, and you can fit more than the 50,000 people you got per day at Dix Park at Carter-Finley Stadium, especially if you allow people on the field. I think J. Cole with a few others, I think would be an awesome concert to attend.
I was going to say, is he bringing like a lineup, or is this
J.
Cole with an opener, or is this like...
I think J. Cole with a little bit of a lineup, yeah, absolutely. On the main stage, I think it'd be fantastic.
I agree. Somebody that doesn't have North Carolina ties. Because, like, I mean, if we say Luke Combs, if we say that kind of stuff, like, that's going to play in North Carolina.
Sure.
But part of opening up a venue like Carter-Finley is you're going to get, like, the biggest worldwide acts. Is there a bucket list item that you don't want to have to drive to Charlotte for?
I don't know. I saw Metallica in Charlotte a couple weeks ago, or about a couple months ago, which was great, which was up there on my bucket list. So that's a tough question for me to answer right now. I mean, it's always going to be Led Zeppelin for me, but I obviously know that's not going to be a thing unless the three living members get back together and decide to do a tour. Then that'd be awesome.
Instead, like John Mayer is always super important to say, like, he doesn't play with Grateful Dead, he plays with Dead and Company.
Yeah,
Lead and Company. It could work.
Let's make it happen.
You fill in where you got to fill in. You get the surviving members that are down for it, and you go play some songs that everybody knows. Could work. I don't know. I honestly don't. I have to admit, I'm not the biggest concert guy, which is kind of a weird thing about me.
I've been to a ton.
Not the coolest thing about me. So I don't know if I have a bucket list, but I do know. It's kind of one of those, I'll know it when I see it things. Like as if a big event that I'm really excited for comes to Carter-Finley, I'll just go, you know what? There it is. I didn't know it at the time, but that's the one. Let's go. Let's get some tickets.
By the way, podcast host or guest, Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. Massive following.
But I'm sure he's done podcasts, right?
I don't really know. In all honesty, I haven't really seen anything.
Maybe not. I don't know enough about him, but maybe. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm out the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday, doing some family time. So Dennis will be taking over for the rest of the week. Treat him nice. He'll take care of you. Panthers, we'll be breaking it down on Monday when I'm back. Looking forward to it. Until then, everybody, please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter to interact in the meantime, at Donnelly Sports. And until then, have a great night and weekend, everybody.
Griffin, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The latest Browns hope is Shador. Before then, it was Baker Mayfield, it was Johnny Manziel. At the time they were with the Cleveland Browns, I think neither of them were ready for the stardom and the roller coaster ride that being the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns comes with the way that this guy is.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. If you're in the market for a mortgage, good luck. Comparing apples to oranges is now more challenging than ever, as we've noticed a return to 80s-style lending with multiple points being charged up front in order to make the payment appear more attractive. Typically, the lowest rate quote you find will have the highest closing cost you'll find, as numerous lenders play this game of getting you to focus only on the payment and not the $15,000 due at closing. On refinancing, it's even worse, as lenders willingly add these costs to your loan amount. At Miller Lending, we don't believe in closing costs. By working with our popular no-cost program, you simply close on today's rates and refinance anytime you'd like. Nothing rolled in, nothing charged at closing. Imagine having the freedom to take advantage of smaller rate drops, opportunities to drop PMI,